Welcome, everybody, to the Journeymen Lounge podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah. Oh, let's get ready to podcast. Welcome in to the Journeymen Lounge podcast. We are here in Woj's apartment. The spot.
Sunny day in Wooddale at 45 and hazy.
It is April something.
Classic April day.
Anyway, we're here to talk to you about some things. You know, we got an album review for you.
What type of things?
Well, we got an album review for you. I'm glad you asked, Woj.
We got our banter.
We got an album review for you, coming to you the way of 3-6 Mafia. And then we also, I think, are going to talk about some college basketball. And then, if something else comes up, then we'll talk about it. But anyway, we got me, Ryan, to my left, Bobby, and then to my further left,
El Capitan.
Gideon Goddard, Woj.
Never gonna die. I mean,
I like Gideon. Let's stick it.
You could think of something different each time.
Elton John.
You're going back to the Goddard.
I'm just saying.
Well, a little bit.
Well, you look just like him.
A little too much.
Well, you look like him.
Ray
Just
Romano
saying, be
trying to
creative.
sell a
Be
book.
creative.
I can call you Elton, I guess. That's fine. Or
I mean, it's not. Yeah.
Costanza with the lady frames.
But they
Can't
aren't.
stand you.
They aren't lady frames.
But if you watch the episode and you look at your glasses, they look.
No,
like
I've seen
Gloria
the
Vanderbilt.
No.
Vanderbilt.
Gloria Vanderbilt collection may have one of those, madam.
I've seen the episode. They look way more 90s style glasses. They're bigger.
Who sold this to you?
They're close enough. I mean,
Close enough. Okay.
Who's the salesman who deserves a fucking,
someone deserved you when you were choosing those. Who got bit by a rabid dog when you were choosing those glasses?
It's actually
Tell me.
I have. Oh, it's a jar assist. What's up? These are gifts that I've gotten, which I would have bought anyway because the blue light and shit. We're watching a
computer. Yeah, I get it.
computer for 8 hours a day, and then you're obviously through whatever medium seeing more TVs and screens and shit. I will be honest. I'm a huge proponent of these. I think that these are.
I agree.
Going to save my eyes another 10 years. Of
My
shit down the
fiance
road.
has the blue. She has an a software thing that tunes out the blue, and she wears glasses with the blue protection or whatever. So yeah, I totally.
I think they're absolutely fantastic. And it's fine, man. You can rip on me.
No, I'm not.
It's
ripping.
cool.
I mean, I gotta do a little bit, but
It's cool.
On the positive side, it's cool. You kind of have another look. That's kind of cool. You can.
Right, your IQ went up by 6.
You kind of look like an NBA player at post game. But
With the sweats on.
Did you see LaMelo balls? Wear a neon green trench coat.
no,
And the first thing was looks like two kids trying to sneak into a movie theater.
no, I didn't see that.
That's
We'll
good.
put it up right
That's
here.
good.
But it's
Right.
absolutely great.
Nice.
So let's talk about the NBA, NCAA rather.
Right.
It's all 4 number 1 seeds: Duke, Florida, Houston, and Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby, you got some money possibly
I
riding
got some
it.
skin in the game. I'm in. So you'd appreciate this. I told him I picked Florida in another bracket, and there's 50 some people, $20 a pop, something like that, 50 or 60. But I'm the only one that really picked Florida. Maybe there's 2 or 3 others, but I have all my people that are pretty much all but one in the Elite 8, or whatever. So I'm in great shape. So if Florida wins, I get $2,000. So let's win.
Damn.
I want Florida to win.
Dude, you got lucky. Texas Tech choked. They were kicking their ass. I was watching that game at work.
Agreed. No, like I said, if Florida pulls this miracle off, I'd be in good shape.
Yeah, I mean Duke, I think is still the overwhelming favorite.
Agreed.
And
Woj, sorry, isn't Auburn the overall number 1 seed in the tournament, or who's the overall?
Duke is.
Oh, it's Duke. Okay, I'm sorry.
They're all
I'm saying
ones in their
I'm saying
respective.
they were. Yeah, but there's a top
overall.
seeded
Oh, yeah,
number
yeah,
1
yeah.
overall one.
Sure.
It is Duke.
Duke got the number 1 overall seed, and the rest of the number 1 seeds, I would rank them in strength of Duke, Auburn, Houston, Florida. Even though I think Florida is a good team still, I just think that Texas Tech game shows a
There's
team that's
holes,
lesser
yeah.
is kind of working you for the majority of that game
Yeah.
there.
Let's not knock Texas Tech. They were doing well.
I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying Duke has handedly won each of their games. I think the last game they won by 7, scored 100 points.
Right, no, very decisive victories.
What I can tell you from watching that one Florida game, the point guard they got is real good.
Clayton.
Yeah, he can penetrate. He knocked down this crazy step back 3 that basically won them the game.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was a terrible shot selection, but it was an unbelievable shot.
It's a big time shot.
Yeah, like in the end of the game at that point.
And that's what makes these March Madness games so fun to watch because you get those buzzer beaters. You have all these guys trying really hard on defense to, pick up a rebound or follow up on a shot, like dive for a ball. You don't see that much in that.
Yeah,
game.
you also see late second threes that don't mean anything fucking the spread. So good stuff. Good stuff.
I was gonna say with Florida though, I noticed
There's some
they're
holes in their
weak.
game,
Yeah, like on the center and the power forward, their tall guys were getting owned by that the best player on Texas Tech. What's his name? I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't
know the guy's name.
We don't
but you're
fact
right.
check.
He owned the.
He was anytime he wanted to get a basket, he just went back him down, turn, shot, back him down, back turn, shot. Like and also on the pick and pops, they were getting torched on those too. So. If a team has like a good big man, I think they're gonna have trouble against them. I'm judging by that one game.
No, agreed.
I don't know.
I think that down low they have weakness for sure.
I got you. Johnny Broom on Auburn,
Yes.
I think, is like
He got fucked up.
he's talented. I thought he tore his ACL and dislocated his elbow at the same play. Turns out he's fine.
I just thought it was his elbow.
Bullshit, he's fine.
Well,
I bet they gave him a few shots and he can't feel anything.
I was gonna say you could see he was favoring his good elbow. Obviously, when I don't know if you watched the game or whatever.
He returned to the game.
He came back in and he had a thing under his sleeve, like a wrap or something they put on it. But you could tell like when he was like moving and like he would kind of keep his arm in and not really try. If he didn't have to use it or whatever. So. Yeah, we'll see how good that elbow is.
I think again, just Auburn was a weak. Like they're not super weak, but they lost in the ACC whatever
tournament, yeah.
Tournament,
SEC,
SEC tournament, and everybody was like, "Oh, Auburn's gonna fucking win that shit." So they lost in that. Weren't looking great coming in, but again, won each game pretty handedly. I think that injury though is gonna be
that's gonna throw things into a mix
if they match up against like a Duke in the champion, like a completely well-rounded team where Johnny needs to score 25, 27 points in order for Auburn to really, just have a monster game like 27 and 15.
He was carrying their team. You're right.
He's their number one player. The Wooden, I think, is the
Wooden Award winner,
college best player, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's like a finalist for that for sure, but Cooper Flanagan was probably going to win that.
Yeah, I think he's the shoe-in.
When I was watching it, I'm not going to lie, I thought that Johnny Broom guy was Carlos Boozer's son. He looks just like Carlos Boozer.
I can see it.
I know Carlos Boozer because I know he had some, I think he's going to Duke next year.
He's got two twin boys that are going to be in top college programs.
Yeah, so I thought maybe this guy was also his son, but he's not, but he looks just like
Carlos
him.
Boozer the same guy who like painted on his hair?
Yes.
Yeah, that
All
one
right,
game.
yeah.
He did do that one game. That was great. But I don't know. Duke's looking pretty good. Like I said, I think they got a good chance. Probably gonna be Duke and Houston. You think, or what? Houston's playing Auburn, right?
Well,
We want Florida to
because
win, guys. I don't know how much more.
because of the bracket, Duke plays
Houston.
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 Oh, okay.
I
I'm
believe,
sorry. I
right.
got the matchups wrong. So probably gonna be Duke.
So it's
and
Auburn and Florida.
maybe. Then if the Broom guy can't go, I mean,
I still see a path for every team, but overall, the interest level, like it's on Saturday during primetime. Am I gonna watch it? Probably.
Yeah.
But overall, like if Duke loses, great. If Duke wins, great. Like I'm not a Duke bandwagon fan. Houston, I thought was gonna win it. I think last year, 2 years ago, whenever they had like 32 wins or something.
Didn't they
like
get
that.
upset in the Final Four?
I think UConn maybe beat them
Yeah.
in some capacity.
UConn got spanked too. Jeez.
I mean, but UConn is a different team from what I'm.
I know.
What I know is like guys graduated, guys moved. You can't win 60 games in a row or whatever the fuck they did.
They did something incredible that year.
Right. They won like 63 games or some shit in a row. Very cool. But, like, again, it's going to be – I'm just saying it's going to be cyclical, like with those programs. Duke is going to always be up here. Your Auburn, I think Wayne's, Florida's usually – actually, now that I think about Florida, was good with Joakim Noah back in the day, but not – can't think of a good Florida team.
Well, they went back to back.
They were great then, 07, 08.
And I think they were in the Final Four.
Dude, in the 2000s, even in
7
football,
years ago
Florida-
or something, or 10 years.
Okay,
Within
The
the
90s,
last 10 years.
2000s was good to Florida. I'll just say that. The Gators.
Oh, for sure.
And then
College
before, but the
football
team
and
before them in like
basketball.
2000, and like Jason Williams and a couple other guys. I think they had a run, but yeah, Florida's usually they're.
I mean, these teams are again top tier in terms of like they're hovering around the tournament a lot. But I hope that Florida wins. But like
Yeah,
again,
I
we'll
wanna get a
probably
payday.
mention the Super or the winner of the championship game. I apologize for my lack of enthusiasm, but like there's just
Hey,
other
hold on.
shit
I'll
going on.
I'll get some enthusiasm. I will pay for you guys your green fees, cart, whatever, if Florida wins next time we go out.
Fuck yeah!
So now,
Good show.
Florida. There we go.
That's an awkward fucking.
Who cares? Now you guys got something going. Now you have some skin in the game.
All right, I'm gonna go buy a Florida jersey tonight.
went lefty on him.
Yeah, you went left. That's okay.
It's all good. It looks like you guys are holding hands. All right.
We like to have fun here on the
Let's,
podcast.
Fuck you, Doug.
I'll be your Doug.
We'll touch on the NBA. We'll just say okay, the playoffs are getting through. There's still 9 games. Bulls, I think if they could, I looked at their schedule. I think they could win next 4 out of 6.
I'd give them 4 out of 6. I'll take that.
And I think those are teams that you win and you're going to be like a 7th, 8th seed, whatever the last one is probably. So it's kind of like we'll see what happens. I hope each week we're kind of like the Bulls want another one, dude. Okay,
I would like
let's
that.
see,
I'd like
let's
to be
see.
excited about
I
the
mean,
Bulls.
they got smoked by Oklahoma City by like 35.
Yeah, that was brutal.
It was over in the first
Good
quarter.
Lord, I was like, do they even play like Josh Giddey or anybody? And it's like, fuck.
Was it like the Simpsons clip? He's already dead.
Yeah,
Stop.
pretty much. Yeah.
At any point that I looked at the game, it was 30-ish, 28 points.
I
something
got that
around there.
update on my phone. Like, oh my god.
Is that a typo? What the
Yeah. Well, especially after they won that Lakers game, which we were last week
was
after the
incredible.
podcast ended. Incredible.
Buzzer beater. Yeah.
We went from like
Fantastic.
the Josh Giddey missed layup on the pass Kobe White shouldn't have made, and we're like, oh, it's over. And then all of a sudden, they hit 3 threes in a row or 2 threes, and then a half quarter. Oh my god.
I mean, you're right on both counts. It
Yeah.
was 3 threes or 2
But
threes and a half.
I'm underselling the last 3-pointer though. The
Yeah,
half
I mean,
quarter
a
was-
half quarter from Josh Giddey, that was excellent.
Pretty
but
much switched it.
I would say, though, the fact, like, this is the beauty of sports, was, like, the progression from, like, all right, you're down, like, 7. You're like, okay.
It was like 30 seconds.
like, you know,
left.
that, yeah, that, like, 30-second progression of just, like, all right, they got to pay.
Hit
All right,
the
they got to,
three.
okay,
Yeah.
big 3. Okay,
Steal.
12 seconds left. Vooch makes one of, and I
Yeah.
said this to Bobby earlier, one of the best plays of his season
jump pass
was a
The jump
pass.
pass, yeah.
Man, this guy sucks. Sorry, I digress. But
Yeah,
his
but
best
out for
play,
Vooch.
Patrick Williams of all people,
made
hits
a
the
3
corner
in
of
LeBron's
3.
face, kind of.
Then
Yeah, a little
LeBron
Weak
fucking
ass
loved
inbound.
it. Weak ass inbound. Kobe White gets the pass from Giddey,
Giddey steals it. Yeah.
hits the 3. Then Lakers go down, scores. Then they're coming back for the fucking 3, the half quarter, which he makes, and you're holding your breath. You're like, oh my God, he fucking made it.
And I'm walking out of the bathroom like, what the fuck happened?
It was insane because, like, yeah, it took such a great effort to come back, and then they blew it right away, and you're like, oh, bam, they're probably gonna lose, but it was a good comeback, and then like they actually did come back and win with the half quarter. It was insane.
That's when we're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. We're watching the game against the Heat, and our album review in just a moment
Oh, you're right.
has the Memphis Grizzlies hat on it. They're
Well,
repping
They're from Memphis.
Memphis.
From Memphis.
So we'll
the-
just get into it since we're already here.
Let's hold on. Before we do that, we'll just say we'll get some updates on the Bulls as they come along again. Hopefully, we're going to be cheering them instead of going, "Oh, they fucked it up again." Oh, we suck again.
And I want to apologize in advance for this album review. So go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, starting off on a great foot there,
Oh
Bob.
my god.
Maybe
Well, I'm just saying, if they
ease
want to
into it.
skip the next 20 minutes,
Well,
I
let's
totally
get
understand.
Let's get into it. So Bobby has a different opinion
so under his skin
than
right
Ryan
now.
and
Good.
myself.
Good.
we each have varying opinions, as we do, but Bobby
I have a very accurate opinion.
Bobby wants to make it known right
Culturally
now.
centered.
Guys, do yourself a favor. Go listen to that Korn album he suggested, and then
Yes.
go listen to this.
Right.
And you tell me what is better. You tell me. And if you say Korn, you are full of shit. And so is your poo. Full of corn.
Okay. Okay. Let's
Anyway.
get started. Let's get
Ooh, that
started.
has a connection to the movie we're doing too.
We really do. Yeah. Give me some. That was cool. All right. Come on. That was good.
Anyway,
That was good.
So yeah, as I said, they're from Memphis. 36 Mafia is the group. They're from Memphis.
Which album was
This
it?
album is the most known unknown. It's probably I would definitely say their most popular and best album.
September 27th, 2005.
Came out
release date.
2005. Yes. It's by let's see.
Sold over 1 million records, so they are RIAA platinum certified.
It was
that the barometer? Is just a million?
Million.
Is like the
It's platinum.
opened at number 3 on the
Cool.
Billboard 200, number 1 on the R&B hip hop charts. Certified gold, and they actually had a re-release of it the next year with
Yeah, they did. It was
a couple
one right
bonus
after another.
tracks and on some things.
A lot of them were remixes, though. I checked it out. A lot of them were just remixes.
Yeah.
We'll go through the track listing.
Yeah.
There was
so,
a lot on this, man. This was a long album.
So 36 Mafia for me, I'm just gonna get into like
Go
my
ahead.
personal experience with them. There was like a group that I got into. Me and my friends, including Serge, is on the pod.
Surge.
Colin,
Surge.
all
love
of us,
Serge.
me and my brother. We
You
all
got to get
listen-
Juice back.
We all listened to 36. I think Serge or I don't know, one of them probably got me into them. But like, you know, I'd heard from them like Riding Spinners and maybe a couple other ones, but then we like for some reason really would listen to this album all the time. We were like 15, 16, we'd play in our car like I played this countless times. I don't even know how. I don't know the album.
So
Like, dude,
backwards,
Chevy
forwards.
Cavaliers with 212s, right? I mean, there's got to be subwoofers. There's got to be an
My car didn't
amp.
have subs, but I did blast the bass.
Dude, you
for
know what I'm
sure.
talking about, though? I think that this album is very bass heavy.
Well, I was gonna say, Bobby. That's what I was gonna get into.
Mm-hmm.
Is like this is a style of the time, which I feel like you're not.
no, I wrote it down.
Yeah,
It is a
yeah.
style of the time. This
Like-
gangster rap was really the
It was
style
is
of
what we
the
call
time.
like it's like crunk music, like
Yeah.
southern raps. Like Lil Jon was popular.
ATL was huge.
T.I., Ludacris, Young Jock,
Sure.
groups like this.
They cashed in when the iron's
36
hot.
Mafia had been around for longer than they've been around for like the mid 90s, but they weren't really popular until maybe like the early to mid 2000s. Like pretty much this album is what got
Yeah,
them,
well, I
poked
was
them.
saying just in general, yeah, that early 2000s, that was a huge, I'd say the first half of that, 2000 to 2005 was just chock full
Reload.
of like the same type of music kind of, but like again, everybody had a little different flair. Like you had the Outkast, which we did the review of
Right.
my album before. Definitely a little bit more like on the mellow side. Like again, you guys use the term gangster rap.
It really
Yeah.
is.
It's
I don't like the terminology. Like the content can be gangster rap, but it's
kind of shit.
but to me, it's just the rap of the times. Like
Yeah.
it's
Sure.
just the 10-year, 7-year period where rap all sounded like this.
yeah, I wouldn't call this gangster rap. I would call it more like
You're right, maybe
crunk,
Club rap.
club southern party. Like it's like I don't know. We listened to when we were like pre-gaming or like playing basketball or
Right.
driving in the parking lot of high school. Like just like you wanted something loud, something with a good beat, and whatever.
This makes me think of Alpine 12-inch subwoofers in a fucking case in your trunk of a Chevy Cavalier, right? Like that was the sign of the times. And we had the head unit. Remember head units? Hell
Yeah.
yeah, looking good. I know that's like
So-
way before your
so-
time.
What the fuck
but-
is a head unit?
Oh my god, really?
I would say so. If you
The
got
thing that you put the CD in, you can pop it out. All right, never mind. All right.
the as far as
A
three,
CD player?
Yeah.
I think
You
he's
put a
talking-
CD
The
in
head
the car?
unit itself, it had like a graphical interface, like so. There's some cool
Oh,
shit
yeah, you
going
just
on.
gotta say
and then
the
you gotta
fucking-
pop that, and you could pop it out so people can't
The
steal it.
it's a fucking radio piece.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean,
but we call it a head unit. I don't
Head
know.
unit sounds vague as shit. Just say radio, interchangeable radio.
It's always been called a head unit.
well,
okay.
that's fucking dumb.
semantics, guys. Semantics.
All
Moving.
right, let's move forward with this.
Yeah. Anyway,
I hate dealing with this young buck son of a...
so 36 Mafia.
We have issues.
Call it fucking radio, interchangeable radio.
You still have issues with Walkman, and I'm sorry.
Because they sucked, man. Anti-skip my dick.
All right, so I'm going to throw you off your 3-story balcony, and then we'll anti-skip all the way down to get your corpse. All right, going on.
Oh my god. All right. Anyway, so you guys, Jesus Christ.
Let's get back to the album review.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
sorry.
So
Hit a nerve
I
with
also
me.
wanted to mention 36 Mafia won a Grammy for their
know
song on
how.
Hustle and Flow, which came
Which
out
one was that?
Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
Oh, really? Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that was 3 6 Mafia.
So that was, I believe, like either this year, but after the album came out, or the very next year. I think it was like in between there, which is probably why they re-released it, of the popularity of them winning the Grammy. I think it had a lot to do with
Striking
that.
there inside,
Right.
sure.
So, do you guys have any experience with 3 6 Mafia or this album before listening to it for this?
I actually do. They partnered with Eminem on a few of his, I think in one of his albums and a few of his tracks, right? At some point, right? Isn't 3 6?
Don't think so that I know.
I'm almost certain, right?
I think you're thinking of D12.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of D12. You're right. Shit. All right, never mind.
That's Eminem's own personal rap group that he came up with, but also awesome. But anyway, besides,
It was right around the same time of Eminem,
no,
too, so that's
you're
what
not
I thought.
wrong. Yeah, but
Maybe they collaborated on something. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, but no,
I mean,
you're right. I've heard
Probably
their name.
Should have had that pulled up, huh? And say this is the song.
I do something off more of the cuff. I know you like to
That's
research.
really working out for you on this
Oh,
episode.
my God.
That's the one that did it with Eminem, right? No.
No, it's D12. Sorry.
Well, I know Eminem.
There's some numbers,
I know Eminem
right?
and 3 6
3,
both
6,
very
12.
well. I'm pretty
They're
certain.
divisible by each other.
There
You
you
know?
go. I got the main songs that were radio played initially,
collar.
and then honestly, it's like you listen to the radio, the radio edit, and you go, "Hey, this isn't very like it's good beat, but the lyrics aren't great." So then you look it up, you see it. Like I'm sure one of my friend group has like a CD of this, and I would listen to it like interspersely, not
Right.
really all the time, but like knew the main ones for sure. This was definitely a foray into a lot of different like I guess their catalog, but you said that they'd been putting out music since '95 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of changed over the course of like. I've actually said I've listened to a lot of 3 6. So like, when they started off, they're more of like horrorcore type of rap, like kind of going off of their name.
The fuck is that?
And it's more like kind of like scary, like kind of like not scary. I don't know how to describe it. Kind of like what you would like.
Horror.
Something you
like-
usually use a plastic bag to pick it up because you're walking your dog, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's. I think it rhymes. I think it's the Packers. Yeah, that's what they are.
Ooh.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know. More like just like kind of like just like leaning into the horror element.
Like I'm gonna slit your throat. I'm a
No, like just
Shit.
kind of the beat. The way it's more like a spooky type of beat, where like
Okay, so more ominous. Ominous in that sense?
Yeah, like a haunting
Haunting,
type.
sure.
I don't know. You have to hear
All
it. I
right,
can't-
we'll play it after the pod.
There was a use of
Figure
the
that shit
piano in one of them, so I can
Yeah.
kind of understand that.
and then they got more like mainstream, like the late '90s, early 2000s. Like I said, like they had like Ride Spinners and like
Show.
people know like Slob on My Knob and like
I've heard of that one before.
I see, exactly. I've heard
Who
that
Run
one.
It. I don't know if you guys know that one.
don't
But anyway, they're like obviously like 3 6 Mafia. They're not like a I don't know, like a Lupe or a Kanye or Lil Wayne or something where they're like like
They're not gangbusters,
They're not
you're right.
lyricists. They're not like their content isn't like what's the like I don't know, conscious rap or whatever, where it's like talking about serious issues or like it's like party shit. Like
I would say party shit.
I'm gonna
yeah.
get fucked up. I'm gonna fuck a bitch. That's kind of what they say. Not their word. Their words, not mine.
Ryan's like I would also
Ryan,
like
that
to
type
do
of
that.
lifestyle.
Well, I'm just
huh?
saying, like it's like it's like
Start out here for a pimp.
it's
huh?
like like I'm gonna like whatever do drugs or whatever. It's like it's not like
We
it's
get
not,
it. We
it's
get
not
it.
like Kanye or Eminem or something where they're talking about issues or
Right. I would also just add in, it's not a negative, but I would say their beats in this album alone
Copy-paste.
were very repetitive in the sense that like
corn.
they had the same hi-hat, the same kind of bass, and I would say a couple of different ones. Obviously, they changed it up with certain things. They had a piano, strings, I think, in one. And then obviously the content, the lyrics and shit kind of changed. But I did notice that. The one thing I got to mention up top was excuse me, whoever mixed this album, who was in charge of like the levels of the hi-hat versus the bass and stuff like that. I know you can adjust it in your own car and stuff like that, but the song as is, I feel like he really fought like it. Hi-hat is just too loud for some of the songs that I could like. Even when you turned it up way loud, you're like, I'm still getting a lot of hi-hat. Like again, I could adjust it, for the other songs, but I did notice with pretty much every single one, like the hi-hat was just a little too much, maybe one or two. But that's just I don't want to keep bringing it up, but that is my one reoccurring
I know.
theme.
But let him run through us. Let's get through it.
Okay, so I just want to say that the three, the A's or the chart toppers, if you will, the singles.
Sure.
Hot
Side
shit.
to side.
Where first was Stay Fly,
Commercial.
Yep.
then
Stay
Pop on My
fly,
Collar, and then Side to Side.
Yep.
Which I'm pretty sure you guys probably all have heard of.
Right. I think, like I said, I think the remix does it justice for all of them, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh no, they are. They're good. For sure. So let's just go. I'm gonna just go through the tracks. Just
Sure.
like we did before for your guys'. We'll
Yeah.
just go
Run it through them. There's a lot of them.
So
There's a lot. There's
the
like a
number
2-hour.
one is the intro, which is just like the most known hit. So just basically, if you guys didn't know, I don't know if you. I'm assuming
They explain the album
It's just-
title and
yeah, like,
random
these are-
samples of tracks.
these are all their past hits from their other previous albums leading up to this one.
So if you have to explain the title of your album, you already lost credibility. All right, going on.
Well, how is it not?
Oh,
It's
you have to
most
explain.
known
You don't-
unknowns. It's
You have to
like that.
explain it.
No, we-
This is
That's
this
them.
is
They
my,
literally explain it in the first
no,
one.
This is your take on it. It's your take is fine.
How do you
Shut
know?
the
My-
fuck up! I'm
Okay.
gonna kill
They
you.
explain why their album's called this. Why is that not truth?
Okay.
damn.
No, it's what you
Or
think
they
is
hate
true.
me because I speak the truth. All
Okay.
right, go
They're
ahead.
trying to tell you what it's about. It's the whole.
So-
it's the intro.
This is my take is that
Jesus
they are
Christ.
they
Would
are
you like to see my notes?
they are wanting to do this to show like, hey, we have more shit than just this. I don't know if it's extremely effective within the album because like later on there's
the
also
skit
like
and
a
outro, yes.
like a yo, check out this, it's coming out. It's like I can understand it because of the times being like this is actually a way for people to know, hey, this
Dude,
shit's coming out.
Word for word.
I love the beginning. I think it's awesome. They play all their, especially if you know the group, you know these songs you like hearing them. You're like, all right, Shark has get me ready for the new album.
R-
And it leads right into the second song, which is their first.
Sure. I think
single.
it's
Knock
I think it's
that
informative.
black off your ass, right?
I think it's informative, but at the same time, like I would have enjoyed definitely something separate. Like I'm just maybe not a huge fan of skits in general to interrupt the flow of an album.
I'm on the fence on that one, to be honest.
But again, I just think like that coupled with then the outro was them plug in more shit, and I was like, that's cool. Like you're gonna allow me to know more shit, but at the same time, again, I just didn't think it fit with like, hey, this is like party ass music. You put the album on, you put the CD in. You're like, oh, okay. The first, you know what I'm saying? They got like a party vibe.
I disagree.
No, but let's go through the tracks.
Hey,
I'm sorry for
that's my
being a
opinion.
dick.
That's fine.
I'm sorry for
Okay.
being a dick. No, let's get through these ones.
It's okay. So I think I think for me personally, like, I like that it's like leading, like it's getting me pumped up because I like all these songs. I know
Okay.
these ones.
You've also, again, to be fair, you've heard and listened to the group before.
I like 3-6. So that's what
this
I'm saying.
was
Right.
this
Yeah.
was kind of my introduction to
But-
a full album.
Well, I'm just saying at this point though, this is their whatever 5th, 6th album. So like they're also taking into effect that people who are buying
Kept
this
with them. Kept
have
with them, right.
listened to this stuff.
Yep.
It's not just
Absolutely.
like coming in fresh 20 years late. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. So then it leads into Stay Fly, which is actually Stay High. I don't know why. I mean, it says Stay Fly. It's definitely Stay High.
Did I get the right fucking album? Because I got knocked.
Like I was gonna say actually too, I noticed because I have both versions of this. The original one that I told us to listen to, the song is called Stay Fly on both of them, but in this one they say Stay High. For whatever reason, on the second one, it is Stay Fly. Like they use the edited version, and if you notice in that one, the people's verses are edited as well, which is why I don't like that release. That's why I want us to listen to this one because that song is edited on that.
that was a bonus?
It's on the re-release. Remember I told you guys there's two versions of this?
I checked out
So the one in 2006 that Bobby was referring to with all the remixes of all the songs.
Oh, okay.
That's not the one I reviewed. The one that was called Screwed and
Chopped and Screwed?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a totally different sound. That's like a southern slowing
what the
it
fuck?
down.
That's the one exactly I listened to. I thought that was the one we had to do.
Wait, you listen to Chopped and Screwed? No wonder
Yes.
why you hated it so much.
I have the track list and it doesn't line up with what you're saying. Okay.
Dude.
Well, I thought I did. You sent me the album cover.
Well,
I didn't say Chopped and Screwed.
Well, ladies and
It was the
gentlemen,
same- the
this is
release
a
was
first.
Still in 2005. I thought I had the right one.
Oh, I
You
know
are-
it's not. That's why. So no
How
wonder
many
why you,
releases did they have? Of
Let me
this
just give you a
fucker in 1 year?
play-by-play right here while Tweedledee and
no
Tweedledum
wonder why you hated it.
going at it.
So much.
So Bobby didn't listen to the right album.
How is
so
it-
now all of his input is now invalid.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, I'm going to just
So-
shut the fuck up now.
Where Ryan and I are going to talk for a
Well,
little bit. You
I
can
just
still
wanna-
add in with
Can I
3-6
just
Mafia in general.
Yeah, can I just
Go for
talk now, mediate this a little bit?
All right.
Now that I know that that's what you heard, I'm not as upset
Okay.
because I don't like Chopped and Screwed either. It's
I
horrible.
thought this was the same setup, though.
No.
Okay.
And just for your if you didn't know, Chopped and Screwed is a popular thing they do in the South. It started in Houston. It's where they literally chop and screw.
Right, I get that. So I mentioned,
if that's what you heard, which I'm assuming is
that's
what,
exactly. So I put sulfur hexafluoride as one of my notes.
Well, then I understand why you would dislike it so much. If you have time ever in the future, maybe give the real version I told you.
All right, I'm gonna have to.
I think you always got to start with the original.
I thought I did the right one because it said it came out in September 05.
The cover I think is the same, but Chopped and Screwed. I didn't know you wouldn't realize that it's a different. It's like a
I'm sorry, I got the wrong one.
Back in the day, Southern rappers would always do that. They'd come out with the original one and a Chopped and Screwed. Like there's like a T.I. same thing. Like Lil Wayne.
See, I'm learning something.
Chopped and Screwed.
Interesting.
You're right. I listened to the wrong one, so I'm gonna just sit back and shut the hell up.
Okay. All right.
Because you're right. They all was like, this is my pimp.
No wonder why you hated it.
I was like, dude,
I could
they're
see
trying
why
super
now.
hard.
Okay. All right. Woj, you'll continue. Sorry. So, thoughts on Stay Fly, Woj?
Yeah, it's a solid song, popular song. I had no issues with it. I'm just gonna the through line of the hi-hat. Again, I just think the mix was whatever. I will, now that I'm thinking about it, it was something off of YouTube. It wasn't the actual original, so I'm not gonna take that into account of my judgment of the album.
As long as it wasn't the Chopped and Screwed, you're probably fine.
No, it wasn't a Chopped and Screwed. And from what Bobby's
I had the right one, man.
saying and you're saying, it seems like that is horrendous.
You're right, because as soon as you said the second track, I'm like, that's not what I have.
Yeah, well, I'm like, what? Okay.
This thing was like a 2-hour fucking run.
Man, no wonder why. You must have went through hell. Like, I understand now.
All right, go ahead. What's the next one?
Next one is Roll With It, featuring Project Pat. I love this fucking song. It's one of my favorites on the album. Maybe my favorite. I don't know. It's up there. I like it because as far as 3-6 Mafia, my favorite guy is Juicy J in the group. And this song is like tailored for him where you probably noticed Woj. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But like a lot of when he comes on the song, they change the beats. But he has like the specific beats where it's like, kind of like.
Yeah, his cadence of rapping is very much similar. And the beat, I get what you're saying. The beat matches up. For his
they always
style.
Change it up for him when he comes on. Generally, like a lot of the songs, like they're kind of like a beat, and then they kind of like start going with the like. I don't know if I notice it, but anyway, so I enjoy this song quite a bit. How about you, Woj?
Yeah, I thought it's a decent song. My experience as I go through the album was like I listen to songs and then I kind of recategorize them, going like, this is in definitely the top half of my these are better and these are kind of worse. Yeah. But like I said, that's kind of what I wasn't in love with it. I didn't hate it. I'm like, this is a good song. I enjoyed listening to it.
I also love Project Pat on it. He's one of my favorite. When 3-6 Mafia, again, you guys don't know about them. They have like their what they call Hypnotized Posse. So their record is Hypnotized Records. Yeah, okay. So their posse is like there are their artists that are on their album that they are like their underlings, kind of, if you will.
So I got a few of them. Are these? I'm just gonna run through them, just make sure I'm right because I listened to a different one. But Fraser Boy, Project Pat. Yeah. You have Chrome,
Lil White,
Hypnotized Mind. I got Boogie Mane,
Lil
Mr.
White,
Big, Paul Wall.
Paul Wall's not on there. He's just
okay.
Paul
See, this
Wall.
is the one, the Chopped and Screwed. He is.
Paul Wall is on
Mike
the album.
Jones,
he's just not part of Hypnotized Minds. He was just a featured artist.
Remy Ma, Young Buck.
There's a
Young Buck,
8 Ball, and
Young Bucks,
MJG.
Young Bucks with G Unit.
I guess I listened to an entirely different album.
8 Ball and MJG are their own people. Young Bucks with G Unit.
HCP, I think, is another one.
That's Hypnotized Camp Posse.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about. It's the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so let's move on to number 4, just Don't Violate, featuring Fraser Boy. I like this song for the most part. I like the beat, but I don't like the chorus really. It's kind of like repetitive.
Put your foot up they ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't a great
could have
lyric
used
for
like
me.
another thing to go with it.
I mean, just don't the foot up like in a normal conversation with somebody, like, hey, I'm gonna put my foot up your ass. It's great. Works out perfectly.
Repeating
in the
it constantly,
song,
yeah.
As the beat goes on, and it's like, to me, it doesn't work as like a insult from somebody. Like, I'm trying to put myself where the video is or like where they're trying to go put you in it. And it just doesn't work as like, yo, fuck you, man. Hey, I'm gonna put my foot up your ass.
I like the beat though. It's like upbeat and it's got that good
Yeah, it's
piano.
definitely
The dun 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 dun. It's like a catchy beat. But yeah, the chorus needs work. I agree. I always thought that.
That one had so in the Chopped and Screwed it didn't have piano. Let's Plan a Robbery had a piano, which I enjoyed. But go ahead, next one.
Okay. Next is Swervin', featuring Mike Jones and Paul Wall. And this honestly is one of my least favorite of the album. It's kind of slow. And I'm not a big Mike Jones guy, I never was. I like the Paul Wall feature more than the Mike Jones one, but the song overall for me, usually when I listen to it, it's a skip for me.
I thought it was actually, like, again, in my top part of the
Really?
rankings. Because mainly I enjoyed the lyrics. The one part is like, I be chiefing like an Indian.
Yeah,
everybody. That's funny.
And also everybody's verse, I think, in this was good. Like you just mentioned, like you went through like 8-9 people who either featured on this or part of the group or whatever. And I think it's the same, not problem, but same thing I look at Wu-Tang with. Is that there's a lot of fucking people trying to get on the track, and sometimes it's like,
when you share the spotlight,
if you just go 2 guys or 3 guys, it's perfect. When you trying to get 4 or 5, it gets a little crowded. Well, I'm not saying this happened on this song though.
Well, the group is 3 guys at this point in this album.
Okay.
Just so you know, if you didn't know if you were aware or not.
No, I did not know that.
Officially, it's Juicy J, it's DJ Paul, and Crunchy Black.
Crunchy Black.
So those are the 3 guys that as Bobby had mentioned outside before. When the group started, there were like 6, 7 people.
Okay. Well, 3, 6.
Right. It was. Well, that's not actually. That's.
What's the meaning of that? I guess we should have started with
that. Is that like an
666? Like 666.
Oh, Satan God.
But
3-6.
But again, they said they didn't really mean it like that way. I think. What actually he said is like the guy who was in Lord Infamous.
Lord Infamous is dead. Koopsta, Nika dead, and Gangster Boo is dead.
Yeah, Lord Infamous was DJ Paul's brother, and he had some lyric where he said 666 or something, and DJ Paul was like, "Oh, that'd be a cool name for a group, 3-6," and then they came with the Mafia.
I mean, Mafia is cool. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't know that the numbers had real meanings.
Yeah, it does sound like a devil thing, but they don't mean it to be that way, from what I understand.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
But I could see how someone would obviously think that.
All right.
Yeah. That's
next song.
So next is knock the black off your ass, featuring Project Pat.
Fine.
I love this song. I like this song.
See, one thing I don't like about this, because this lyric has to be in yours too. There ain't no bitch in my blood, even though that they're associated with the Crips. Almost 5 minutes of repeating the same phrase mumbled in a deep voice. That's what I wrote.
Well, he's saying ain't no bitch in my blood, like I'm a man, like you don't fuck with me.
I know, but I think even
nothing
Crips,
to do with the.
I know, but Crips mentioning blood in general is probably a no.
I don't think they're Crips or Bloods. They're from Memphis.
They're associated with the Crips.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, well.
Okay, these are things that you should have fact checked.
I actually did fact check.
Okay,
that
but
one.
like
I never heard
again,
of that.
it's not integral to the review of.
I mean, colors.
That's Ice-T.
Yeah, I would just say this is in my more neutral. I didn't hate it, didn't love. Like it was good.
It's a good pumping up song. I like it.
Okay, I could see it.
Like a workout or like shooting hoops. Or
I
something.
can see that. Okay, you know what? I can see that.
Popping My Collar's the next one,
like
featuring
it.
Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Yeah, this is
that was great.
Obviously one of the singles. I like Popping My Collar.
Yeah, it's a
That's
popular
a more
song.
well-known track from this album.
I also
Definitely
actually
enjoyed
kind of like the remix of it sometimes better because Project Pat's on the remix. I like Project Pat, but next one's Hard Hitters with featuring Boogeyman. This song's okay. I kind of like the beat's kind of like slow. I think this is the one that's got that kind of like harpsichord beat, right? Yeah. So it's an interesting sound, but it's a little slower. But I generally enjoy their verses on it for the most part, but it's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite. It's kind of in the middle.
I mean, for that reason, I enjoy that it kind of switches up the pace.
Yes, that's
because
what
I did see. I think out of the first 5 songs, maybe I think 4 really like more upbeat, more like this is good. Which again, that's more of their sound in this album. But you don't necessarily want, in my opinion, I don't want all go from the beginning. Unless that's that's the only thing that you can do is like that. Like, I don't know. But
I think it kind of goes with, like they said, the style of music that they do, and especially the music at the time was kind of like more upbeat, like play in the club, like a banger type of. Plus, it kind of, like you said, kind of suits their rap styles more. I think, for me at least.
There was better rhythm and I think articulation in this one, which I really enjoyed. Like it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like, you know, sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher up there. So go ahead.
All right. Next one was Side to Side, which is the third last single. I like Side to Side.
I didn't know.
Better,
I didn't know Lil Bow Wow featured on it.
Oh, that's
or like is in it.
Is that a different version?
That's
Jeez,
the,
how many different
that's the other. Yeah, that's the.
How many fucking
That's
cuts
the second. That's the 2006 release. That's okay.
What the fuck? All the other ones were the same up until that point. So Lil Bow Wow isn't on your version?
He's on the remix one. But I like that
The
one.
remix is better.
I like that kind of one better, though, honestly, yeah.
I like the remix better.
It's not a bad thing that you heard that. There's also a remix with Kanye West that has a kind of
the Kanye one's fucking good.
A different beat, a little change in the beat, which is also good in its own way as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, Side to Side is a solid track. It's one of my favorites of theirs.
I like the song. I just, like I said, I put Lil Bow Wow feature on. I didn't know that.
And then next one's a skit, which is skits. Or I don't like skits. It's whatever. Skit's a skit.
Yeah.
Then
that was the promo, right?
Probably. That's what they. Yeah. That's again, and
they promoted the beginning, the middle, and the end.
That's their thing they do on their album.
Okay.
So if you had heard the albums, you're not surprised by this.
It's not surprising.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a thing of like, if you are a group that's like, hey, I've been out for 10 years, like. That's where I'm like, okay, do you all like again? You just said they always do this, so then it makes more sense.
Yeah, but like they were out, but they weren't like this is the top of the mountain for them.
I mean, it's like, got to be weird for a group to like know you're in the prime years or like, hey, I'm in the twilight. I'm not saying that about 3 6 Mafia. I don't know what would you say is their like fall from relevancy.
Fall. I mean, this is their top of the. This.
So,
I mean,
but
like, at what point do they start kind of falling off for you?
Well, so after this, they won the Grammy or whatever, and then they had "Dope Boy Fresh," which was a popular song with Chamillionaire, and that was a really good song, and that was supposed
was good.
That was supposed to be on their next album, but that album got pushed, which kind of sucked. And by the time that album did come out. That song, I don't even think was on there. It was like, or like maybe a bonus. Like it wasn't even part of the.
So they
was like,
got
what
pushed
the hell?
To obscurity at
and
that
I can tell you from experience, the last To Walk album, which is their last one before the group broke up for a while. I think they're back together now, but they haven't released anything. It was okay. It wasn't as good as this album. It had a couple of good songs, but overall it wasn't as good. And Crunchy Black was gone, so it was just Juicy J and DJ Paul at that point. And
he died, or he's
no, he left the group.
Okay.
And at that point too, they were kind of getting even more into like the club raps. It was even more like kind of like dance beaty or whatever. Not like as I don't know as. Traditional is the wrong word, but like as their style, like this one's more their style,
sure.
I think.
Okay.
And then after that, they broke up, and Juicy J joined Taylor Gang with Wiz.
Yeah, Wiz Khalifa. I like Juicy J and a lot of that
right,
stuff.
and it's kind of perfect for his sound, honestly. So, but back to the album, that's good. But I like that we talked about that. That makes sense. The next one is 12. When I Pull Up at the Club, featuring Paul Wall and Mr. Big. Mr. Big.
I like.
I'm loving that.
The hook on that is fucking sick.
Yeah, it's a good hook. I think it's a good beat. Again, I like Paul Wall. It's a good feature.
You like Paul Wall on the shit that he's in?
I think it's an overall good track.
Yes, I agree.
Next one's Pussy Got You Hooked, featuring Remy Ma. This one's a little different of a beat, a little slower beat. The chorus, again, is not my favorite, but I don't hate this song.
It's a better song than most from what I listened to.
It's an interesting turn for them. I didn't think that they would have a Remy Ma lead, because that's like her song basically.
Yeah. I like the violin or the cello beat it has with it. It's like like it's a good. I like the beat, but it's a decent song. And then the next one's "Don't You Get Mad" featuring Lil Flip and Mr. Big again.
I'm enjoying.
I don't like this song really. This is a skip for me. It's nice that Lil Flip's on it. I like Lil Flip, but overall the beat I'm not a fan of, and the chorus is again not great. I usually skip this one.
I'll say this though. I said the featuring artist adds some flavor to this track, and I think this would be a good bass subwoofer selection by default. I don't like it in particular, but if you're trying to like blow out your eardrums, in your car, this might be the right one.
Okay. I just think this was the song that I'm thinking of. Like, I think this was the one that had the hi-hat the worst of it, because I think it's going the entire song.
This one has like the sample of like the old like 60s or 70s R&B. It's like ooh
shit. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Sorry.
But either way, it's for me, it's a skip. And then my next one is Body Parts 3, featuring Boogeyman, Frasier Boy, Lil White, Chrome, Granddaddy South, and Project Pat. Now this is like one of those songs where they kind of have like all their artists, kind of like a feat to feature their artists. I think is
Sure.
like the goal of this song, like to show that they're on the label, and like they always release their own solo stuff and they promote it and be like, okay, Lil White new album coming out, or
Yeah,
Chrome.
So I mentioned that too. I was like, I even counted it down. 12 seconds of them announcing who they are before they contribute to the actual song. So think about that. That's 1, 2.
Yeah, we don't need to count to 12.
I'm just
but we
saying,
got it.
imagine 12 seconds, of like 7 different people being announced. I was like, holy shit. But I also said this is kind of the sign of the times. I think this happened in a lot of different tracks in the early 2000s.
Well, and it's they're trying to grow their
Right, no,
record
a brand.
label,
I get
so
it.
it's like part of the thing. I think the song's okay. Like again, it's not my favorite. Like, but I like that they have all the different artists on it. I like that about it.
Yeah, I don't know who the feature was, but one of the guys was just rapping like this.
HCP.
Again, I don't know
That's
which one it
Hypnotized
was.
Campus, that's all.
But he was
Sounds like it.
he was rhyming like the fucking 90s, where it was like, and I get the lotion and then the potion. It's again, I'm not saying those exact words, but again, it was like a very juvenile
the
type of
lotion.
rhyme, where it's like, where's the phone? And then I'm on. And it's like, God damn, man. Like just a couple of those
That's
were like
fucking
they
hilarious.
took it, they
Thank
wound
you.
it back, but not really in a good way. That's why I didn't really like this one too much.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. It's okay. Next is Stay Fly remix featuring Slim Thug, Trick Daddy, and Project Pat.
Yeah, why? Can I ask why? Why I've never seen a remix on the same album. I thought that remixes always came out later.
No, they do that sometimes.
Really? Like,
Yeah.
we have another example. I'm not saying 3-6 Mafia, but like
I
know,
also
like,
agree with Woj. Usually remixes come after.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think didn't like J-Lo had the "I'm Real" song, and then she did the remix of Ja Rule.
I don't
think
know.
they were.
I'm looking to you.
I don't know. I'm just taking a
Okay.
stab.
I'm
at
just
it
saying,
here.
I think
Put me on
Woj
the
is right
spot.
that this is probably more of a less frequent scenario than a more frequent
I
scenario.
mean, it's just like sometimes, like I mean, usually they would.
well,
have,
sometimes.
Well, usually they would have like a remix of it, but it'd be like a different beat. But this beat is kind of still similar to the original.
I just heard
It's just different artists.
Different artists.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's their prerogative, dude. I don't know. I didn't make that.
I just was simply,
Make
simply
the album.
asking a question.
Then it's the outro, which is just them talking. It's a skit. Then it's Got It For Sale, which I actually really like the song a lot. I thought it was pretty awesome. I love Chrome.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, you're still talking.
No, I was like, Chrome is awesome. I think he's my favorite of
Oh,
the
yeah.
the
I wrote that.
HCP.
Lyrics and bars are the only redeeming quality for this track.
It's got a good beat. I don't know. I like it. And plus, I really love Chrome. So
I
Would agree.
I had a problem with this was on the bonus, right?
yeah, this is the bonus.
One
parts
of the
it.
first
There's,
bonus
like
one?
4 or 5
I was
bonus.
like, why did you wait so long to like switch up the beat? And it was like, if they wove this in with some of the like on the actual track, like they could have easily, you had a couple skips there, like interchange those. I think it would have been like just again a better overall, like, hey, it's showing all these different things that we can do, because this was a great song. But I'm like, you waited till fucking 19 track listing? I gotta go through 19 songs.
So you like the song, you don't like the order of the song.
I hate
You're such an order, dude.
whoever again organized this album, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, have some fucking decorum here. It's not the right word, but you go with like the good songs. Like, you don't play 4 bangers in a row and then come with 4 pieces of shit. I'm not saying that happened in this one, but like, it just was so odd that I was like, great song. Okay, good song, bad song, okay, fine song. Like, it just seemed like there's a lot of stuff like that where like, whoever ordered this, you fucked up the bonus songs with the songs that should have been on the main album, as I think one of the first couple, because you get like a Stay Fly, and then you go to like this or whatever, or like a medium song. Like, it's just gonna sound better overall.
I mean, if anything, they should have switched it with the Stay Fly remix. Put that as the bonus.
Right, that would have worked as well.
But yeah, I think God For Sale is one of my top like 3 favorite on the album. I love the beat, love Chrome. Again, I think it's kind of like their specialty, where it's like a little more upbeat, a little more. Then Let's Plan a Robbery, which means
I actually enjoyed that one.
it's okay. I don't mind it. I don't love it.
To me, I'm saying the exact same thing about Got It For Sale. I was like, this should have been on the
Really?
main
You
part of
guys
the
like
album.
that one?
I enjoyed this one.
You guys
I
seem to like the slower ones of them.
No, at least I'll say this: the context and the lyrics and the progression of this song made more sense to me. That's all. It's not like I got game, I got game, and they'll repeat it like 6 different times,
It
and
is-
then
I mean, it's
and
the
then
chorus.
the end of the song's like, yeah.
In the
Give me an Emmy. Give me
in
an Emmy.
yeah, in the Southern rap, I feel like they do have a lot of like.
but you heard the chopped and screwed, Bob. You heard the wrong one.
I know, but if that is based on a version that won an Emmy, then I'm a shoe-in for next year.
Okay, so
all right,
we're,
cool.
yeah, I'm just saying though is like the.
I'm glad you taught me that. I didn't know that, honestly.
Okay,
Sorry.
never mind. We're good. All right, next song.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
What would you sure you had in your finish your
I'm just saying in the chorus, like this is kind of indicative of the rap of the times. It's like a lot of repetitive. You don't get like 3 lines of lyrics and then stanzas, whatever the fuck it's called.
well,
it's like the same thing over and over, interspersed. Like
they're not lyricists, as I said. It's like again, it's like Lil Jon or Yin Yang Twins or some
Right.
stuff like that, or it's more like
getting you hyped up.
right. Next one is "Dancing on a Pole" featuring Chrome. I actually like the song. I like the beat.
Oh, I
Kinda
got
like
something for
Chrome. It's the content is not great or whatever, but like
Whoever the fuck is vacuuming?
It's
all
Shut the
good.
fuck
I
up.
like the change of pace with this one.
This was Dancing on a Pole.
Yeah,
That was hot garbage. I have the worst song.
So here we go.
hot garbage.
This is what I wrote.
Sorry.
Lost hope for this album like 4 tracks ago, but because I'm a team player, I'll continue to listen to this thrown together album of gangsta rap. But I think there's a lyric in this. You like that makes me think of Kirk Cousins. So every time that came on,
Like
I think
that?
of Kirk Cousins instead of a stripper basically
Yeah.
grinding her shit up into you.
The last one's "Ain't Got Time for Games."
Kirk Cousins.
Again, this one is not one of my favorites. It's kind of like a skip for me.
That's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, I put different beats equals better songs than some. I just again I like if you can do the same thing like over and over again and produce, and that's great. I just want some change to show that you can do other shit than the exact
Show
same
some depth, yeah.
flow. Which again, I would say 4. You can probably agree with. There's like 4 to 5 of the songs utilize pretty similar beats, or if not same kind
Tempo is
Tempo.
almost exact.
of maybe camp.
That's their sound.
Right. Okay. So I'm just saying 4 to 5. That's kind of what I.
A lot of Lil Jon songs sound.
Well, this is
I would
this
agree.
is the thing though. In general, I think Lil Jon could do one thing very well. Can't do fucking anything else. It's not a negative on Lil Jon, but like that's what he can do. Like these guys, I feel like can actually when you're like more lyrical. I know these guys aren't that.
They can rap, but they're not like I'm not gonna put them in the same class as like Kanye or Lil
No,
Wayne or
but you would
something.
put them above Lil Jon,
Yes,
right? That's
And
what I'm saying.
as far as
yeah.
they're able to
Okay, I can
articulate
see that.
raps,
Right.
yes. But they're like they're not like S tier or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're
It's fair.
but they have like their niche.
I mean, there's levels to this shit, right?
Yeah.
There's levels of it.
Well, it's like we talked about like the Chili Peppers before. Like Andy Kiedis is not like gonna like blow
Right,
you away with his
right,
voice.
right.
Okay, I
but
like
he's
that.
got a sound.
Right, it's a sound, and
And
you
some people
accompany-
hate it and some people love it.
Right.
That was a great analogy.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh,
A.
I try.
Clink.
Fucking A, man. Fucking
So anyway, that's the album. Again,
I learned quite a bit today.
so Bobby listened to the wrong one.
I did.
So which probably sounded horrible. Again, like now I understand. Like I'm like, how the hell could you possibly now if you still listen
If you don't like some of the songs, like you probably would find a nugget of like, yes, this song's good or whatever.
I did
No.
go
But
into
for
this
you to go
objectively, but I was just like, oh my
unequivocally, you're
goodness.
like every song was terrible. I'm like, that's,
No, I didn't. I
you
didn't
listened
think
to
that.
the wrong one.
Okay.
Listen to the right one. And I'm not saying that you're gonna love it, but I don't think you're gonna want to kill yourself as much as you heard
Right.
this other one.
Like Korn. I agreed.
Yes.
Okay, so the album I have up, which I think is going to be a winner across the board, was we grew up to this. I mean, this is like when you were a little bit younger, but that's okay. Sublime. The album is Sublime. Came out in
Excellent.
1996, and this is the one where you saw Sublime tattooed in Old English on the dude's back.
Yep.
Remember that
great
album?
song, great album.
So that's
Fantastic
the album
album.
we're going to be
Yeah.
rocking.
Hell yeah! All right, we're gonna take a quick break.
Yep.
Grab some drinks, and then we're gonna be back with who's
Secret
movie
Window.
review? Oh,
This
it's
guy, the
Bobby.
last of Stephen King.
Last of the Stephen King trifecta. So we'll be back. Peace.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
I hope we keep this in. That's fucking hilarious.
I don't give a shit. All right. For those of you who have stuck around, kudos.
We appreciate you.
All right. So we're getting into
Please don't leave us.
the last of the Stephen King. Please. Hey, we gained a.
Hey, we got one back.
We got one back. Whoever you are.
Yeah, we
You're
appreciate you.
Welcome
Put yourself in the
back,
comment. We'll say something nice.
Welcome back.
Welcome back
All
to
right.
the Journeymen Lounge podcast. We are a couple of assholes talking about a movie. Good movie, in fact. Barbarino's
Yep.
choice.
So this is the trifecta of Stephen King that we were rounding out. I was the last of the three to do a movie. I did Johnny Depp, Secret Window. Let me pull up some stats on this
it's
quick.
weird. It's like you should have been prepared.
I am prepared, please. I'm pulling it up right now.
Well, you're not prepared now.
So it was a
but you-
2004 movie. It was a horror mystery genre, which I was like, I would agree, in terms of
suspense.
suspense, maybe, with a $40 million budget and worldwide gross $92.9 million. This is based in Tashmore Lake, which is a fake city in upstate New York. So before I go in, or do we do the synopsis, or what was, I guess before we do synopsis, when were you introduced to this movie? Was it just recently, or have you ever seen it before?
Definitely saw it before.
Okay.
Enjoyed it the first time for sure. I had probably like not a huge movie phase, but like movies were definitely like between, I don't know, like when I was like 12 to 20, like regularly going to see a movie. This was definitely
Hitting
a
the
movie.
movies up, sure.
Honestly, I probably saw it either in theaters or right when it came out. And I just, again, like I enjoyed it from the get-go. Probably at that time didn't really appreciate too much that Stephen King's like been doing this for a long, like all of his maybe not all, but many of his adaptations are great films.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I saw it, loved it the first time. Best thing that I was talking to you about earlier is that
You forgot the ending.
I like when I forget the endings. Like specifically, I knew there was like, I was like, oh yeah, this is how it is. But I didn't remember the last part of it, and I'm like watching it again. I'm like, oh hell yeah, dude, that's what happened there. So it is a
Hell
nice little double dip to go like
There you go.
like the movie, and then also haven't seen it in a while. Fucking just as good the second time. Damn.
Ryan, your thoughts?
Slightly different, but not completely. I think I saw this, when I think it was like probably I rented from Blockbuster or something back in the day when it came out, or my dad did something.
Okay.
And I hadn't seen it, I don't think, since then. It's probably been like 20 years or 15 years at least
Sure.
since I've seen this. I unfortunately did remember the ending because I remember the twist, which that's not the thing. It's a bad ending. It's
Right.
It's a good ending. It's just, unfortunately, I did remember it. So for a rewatch for me,
But did you see it in a different lens
I
sometimes?
was
Because you
trying-
mentioned that, and I actually
yeah.
grasped to that idea.
But you can't forget.
I was trying
Can't
to,
forget.
and I feel like I worked more for me in Shutter Island than it did for this movie.
Okay.
But I was trying to, and it just kind of took some of the sting out of some of the scenes,
Right.
which we'll get
understandably
into
so.
later. I
Right.
don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, but when it's a suspense one that, like, again, there's like two big twists.
it kind of
Of
relies
like,
on
and you already know it. Like,
Yeah.
I've tried to do that before. It's impossible.
It's
you can't just
hard.
forget the ending of a movie when it's that kind of shocking or left turn.
So I
right
was trying to
turn.
appreciate maybe some of the acting or the dialogue if I could, but there was.
We'll get into it. So I'm gonna just do a brief synopsis of this to
Well,
bring
what
in.
was- did you answer?
Hey, what about you, Bobby?
Me,
Yeah.
I've seen this. I wouldn't say I saw it when it came out in 04. That's not the case, but I picked it up. I think on one of these days I was just kind of like whoa, like I was into movies, just trying to do something different, and I stumbled across this one and I watched it probably about a decade ago. And really enjoyed it. I've seen it a few times since, and then this
What
recent.
are you, Family Video, Blockbuster?
I'm a
Hollywood?
Blockbuster one that I grew up. Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Well, I started off. It's called Box. It was called Box Office Videos, where the
Oh, there you
Panera
go.
was.
Why'd you put an accent? Videos.
Box Office Video, where it was Panera. Where was the Panera at on Schaumburg and Barrington? That used to be it.
Oh shit!
Okay.
I don't
And
even
I
remember
would
that.
rent like the same 5 movies, which were Ace Ventura, Batman Forever, Happy Gilmore.
Holy shit, that was a box.
and The Mask. 4 movies, sorry. And then obviously then I graduated to Blockbuster.
That was
and
good.
then Blockbuster went away. When Blockbuster went away, I would frequent Family Video, and then they
Right.
closed.
Look at
as
this
well.
guy. I would frequent the.
And
Very
recently,
Then I would adjourn to the study.
yesterday, in fact, to
Fucking clown.
to get this movie, I frequented the library and rented
I told
it.
you about that, dude. Library
And-
low key has a lot of cool
And I
stuff.
picked up 2 more movies also. I'm going to watch Broken Arrow, the other
Okay.
John Woo
Oh,
movie
yeah.
with Travolta.
Yeah.
And some Plain View Jar Butler. It looked pretty
Okay, very cool. So
Sorry,
all right,
sorry
cool.
to interrupt. But
I digress.
okay, so
Synopsis of this
Yeah, get the
movie. All right, here we
synopsis
go. We have Johnny Depp. I'm going to go through the cast real quick and then the synopsis just so everyone knows. Johnny
Yeah,
Depp is
small
Mort
cast.
Rainey. John Turturro is John Shooter. Maria. Yeah,
yeah, words are hard. Limit.
words. Maria
Limit.
Bello is Amy Rainey. Charles S. Dutton is Ken Karsh. Timothy Hutton is Ted Milner. Len Carreau is Sheriff Dave Newsom.
Sheriff, who gives a shit?
John Dunhill is Tom Greenleaf, and Joan Henney is Miss Garvey.
Okay.
Or Mrs. Garvey, sorry. So the synopsis of this movie is you have I would say once at least high profile writer, author. That at one point in his career did plagiarize, had to pay out a bunch of money that kept down the hush hush. Let me just finish. Found his
I'll save for picking it.
Exactly. Found his wife cheating in a hotel motel. That kind of prompted his slow, I'd say, decline into what would be almost like split personality disorder or psychotic like identity crisis. And then throughout this movie, you see a conflict where a other author, finds him up in upstate New York at this cabin and claims that he stole his writing, his story, and it goes on to almost like I'd say layered effects of just things getting worse and worse. You have this, psycho essentially, start to attack him personally, took his dog,
He
and things just
physically touches him and his belongings.
right, and it just progressively gets worse to the point where his ex-wife and their house burned down.
And I'm sorry, did you mention that he's in the mid-divorce?
Yeah, he's in mid-divorce. His wife currently resides at his house with her new boyfriend, the same boyfriend that he kicked in the door at the motel and saw them cheating and pulled a gun on. So
they have officially separated, living apart, but he has not signed the papers.
He has not signed the divorce papers, and that's like a theme, an underlying theme that maybe he's not willing to, make that transition into that like new state of his life.
I mean, you uncover it as the movie
right,
goes
exactly. But I think it's a slow mental breakdown of Mort Rainey is the best way to describe this whole story, and it comes full circle at the end. But really creepy ending, and I thought it was really well put together. So let's.
Well, the movie is 21 years old.
Right.
I think. I mean, if you want to I know not to like blow the load up top.
Should we mention the? Yeah,
but we
twist?
could mention the twist.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the twist is many characters. John Shooter specifically is his own making. So this is like Split meets Fight Club. John Shooter is Mort Rainey, and is split personality. Basically, is the one that is, whispering in his ear, essentially, of diabolical, evil schemes that he's capable of doing, but he's not willing to do yet.
So I think it's definitely like a dissociative disorder where he is completely unaware of this person. He believes that they're John Shooter, played by Turturro, is not. This is a
separate human being. That's
human being.
Yep.
And he's doing all these
him.
things when in reality it's Mort Rainey killing the dog. Assaulted, like throwing, him down on the ground and stuff like that. Eventually killing people,
burn the house down,
burning the house down that he shared with his wife. So I would just kind of also add in, it's to me it looks like it's based on a mental break.
Yes,
obviously extreme stress. Plus,
and you saw with the jaw movement. So a lot of things that medicinally speaking, the frequent naps. So someone who doesn't sleep, have
Depressive,
a standard sleep
yeah,
schedule. You have him with the jaw movement of like, like cranking your jaw, not eating on a normal
can
pattern,
I add,
and drinking
and
like
you,
a fucking
you find,
psychopath.
You find Jack Daniels and pay to visit.
So like clearly this guy is
going off the deep end. Right?
Yeah. And I think it's only revealed later on in the movie, and I think we start to piece together like, well, this doesn't all line up, especially with the Jeep murder scene. That I think at that point, I think you have to think that he's involved, because why would these two people be murdered in a vehicle, with a close confidant essentially that was trying to help you, get rid of this would-be stalker. So that's when things turn for me. But do you want to open it up? Let's open it up. Do we have quotes before we get started on scenes or other things?
Scenes, I think, has got to go first.
All right, we'll do scenes, but I think scenes and quotes are almost, copacetic.
I mean, definitely throw in the quotes there, but I just personally think that this is a shorter on the scenes part for me.
It is.
I'm just in general, same thing with Misery. I like the scenery. There's like a lakeside
upstate
town.
New York, yeah. Like the Finger
I don't know,
Lakes.
do they ever say what the name of the town is?
Tashmore, which is a false, fake city.
Gotcha.
And the cabin is actually fake, which bothered me. It wasn't on site, but I was like, oh, I wish it was kind of.
I mean, again, it's movie magic, but then also just again, the movie is called Secret Window. I enjoy when you can do a shot that was definitely my most cinematic shot was they're pushing out the window. They get the sun in the background down to the thing. What's the original title of the book?
Secret Garden, Secret Window.
Secret Garden, Secret Window. That's where you find out he's murdered people, put them under there,
and consuming
again.
Their nutrients.
I like those shots of the exterior by the lake. Stuff like that is dope.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, your turn to talk.
Sorry.
We totally boxed him out for a bit.
I was
He was zoning out.
No, I was in. You guys are just
I was zoning in.
You guys were going on. But I was gonna say, this is very much like Fight Club, or
In what way?
Well, the way he has
like
the split personality. It's a guy he doesn't know.
Oh, okay.
A guy who he thinks exists.
That's why I said it's like Split meets
but doesn't
Fight Club.
really exist is actually himself, which we find out. And
sorry, I thought you meant the shots.
and also, you guys make sense when you say that depressing thing with the sleep. That kind of does make sense. But I was thinking also, whenever he's sleeping is whenever he's
in that other.
He's doing
he
the
loses
deeds.
time
right,
essentially.
He loses time, which is another Fight Club or
What movie is that with Ed Norton? For the life of me, can't remember. He loses time. Basic Instinct or something like that.
We're talking about this.
Right. Sorry, yeah.
But no.
I think that's actually a
Primal
fair
Fear.
point
There it
because
is.
again, he is definitely when he wakes up, he's waking up at odd hours of the thing, and then he discovers what John Shooterman or what Shooter John Shooter does. So it definitely tracks with that. Bobby, I mean, you said the interior of the house was fake, but looked like a sweet ass lake house to me.
So yeah,
man.
that like I said, that movie magic that I was like, was this filmed on site somewhere where this cabin exists? And no, this was entirely made by the production company. I was like, damn it, because I thought it was pretty cool because you have for what it's worth, I like the idea of a loft. You have the main bedroom upstairs, a big kitchen, and a big
huge wide open
family room. So I was like, dude, I dig that.
that.
I was like, that would be a nice cabin right next to a lake to have.
Fuck yeah.
And then screened in porch, fucking A.
Dude, I don't know if it bothered anybody, but at one point he puts the glass like this.
Yes.
Puts it on the edge.
Picking it.
I was.
What the people like the OCD and he was like, no.
Who puts a glass there on the very edge of the counter? It's hanging off the edge.
Oh yeah, it was pissing me off. I didn't have a picky nit.
Yeah,
I bet Amber would be upset with it too.
Picky nits for me.
To me, that's not pissing me. This was just pissing me off. Where I was like, oh.
And then I thought they were going to come back to it,
and they didn't.
And nothing happened.
Yeah, so I was like,
I thought it was going to be he slams the door shut or something.
Glass falls, does something.
Right, someone from behind. No.
That was more of my
for no reason.
It's an interesting scene because it was only a blip, and I was like, oh, it stuck with me.
Well, it was clearly made a choice. They made a choice to show this.
I think they might have had a scene cut out.
You know what?
I think there were a lot of scenes cut out of this
Probably,
movie.
yeah,
Fun factoid. Guess
it's only
what?
An hour 30.
Fun factoid, real quick.
Bobby's factoid.
Mountain Dew was considered what alcohol beverage back when?
What?
Moonshine or whiskey?
I don't know.
So
literally. your question was not.
It was not framed well. Okay,
phrased properly.
Mountain Dew was another name for what alcoholic beverage?
There you go.
There it is.
was
But it's
whiskey.
moonshine and whiskey, and the fact that
Called Mountain Dew.
Yeah, Mountain Dew, because they used to. It was prohibition. They'd go up in the mountains and ferment it.
But where does dew come from?
Because it was at night. There's dew on the grass.
It's probably a weak explanation of it.
All right. Anywho, that's what it is. But you saw him drinking Mountain Dew, and then he wasn't a smoker, but he's obviously a chain smoker.
Can you make that assertion?
I could make
he
that
a
assertion.
chain
I called him
smoker?
about it.
It's another picking it.
Okay, we'll save the pick.
All right,
We'll go
at
through
some
scenes
point,
and
he
then-
was a regular smoker because you can't.
I agree with that, but like
Maybe not a chain.
the
You're right.
pack is empty, and you only see him smoking the one cigarette at the time, maybe two, whatever
Yeah,
he
so-
does.
But I think for scenes like
I got one scene that I want to mention.
I think obviously, well, I would say any confrontation with John Turturro and Johnny Depp.
There's
Yeah.
gritty
It's
scenes.
like the
yeah.
beginning one where he's at his door and he initially tells him about the story and then he leaves it under a rock.
He's very like mysterious hick. It's a very
I love that about the character, though.
specific character.
Specifically the one, too, where he comes to his house after Johnny Depp thinks he's in the house and he smashes his bathroom up, the mirror and the shower.
in his shower door. Yeah,
And then he comes out and then he's waiting out there for him and he kind of throws him up against the wall with the shovel.
yeah. That was outside when they were.
Yeah.
He just buried his dog. I think
Right.
earlier. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I should mention before that, yeah, the dog was stabbed with a screwdriver through the head with a threatening note saying he has 3 days. That was
And just to
creepy,
elaborate a little bit on Turturro Shooter.
John Shooter.
John Shooter, he is under the impression that, again, Mort Rainey has stolen his story, and then his solution to that is that he is going to have that story reprinted in the book that it's published in. So that's what Shooter, in his mind, is
he said,
is the resolution.
I want you to fix the ending and republish and give me credit.
with my name.
And Mort says that he made the story 2 years before. John Shooter was claiming
Right,
to have
so
made it.
and that actually ended up being true. Like this story existed,
Yeah, it was
but like I said,
published
it's a
in
fraction of his brain literally going nuts.
There was a copy at his house, his wife's house, his ex-wife's or whatever.
Or the publisher
his
sent it.
separate.
Yeah.
And then the agent had a copy of it in the magazine that was sent to him later, or was going to be sent to him, or whatever.
Yeah, and there's some craziness because you don't know at certain points, like not necessarily you don't know, but like there are things with the book where like he gets the book and it's cut out. Clearly he does that, but then it's like
yeah, it says the chapter or whatever, the story, but then you go to it and the pages are torn
Yeah, it's
out.
torn out.
So
Yeah.
forget what
Sewing
that's called.
season
It's
was.
a
It's a
unreliable
collection-
narrator.
It's like a collection of stories. I forget what that's called though. Probably should have looked it up, but
It's a short story collective.
It's like a
that's all.
novella, I think.
At anywho, one of the scenes that got me was the ending scene. I guess ending scene combined with them purchasing the cabin where she moves the armoire out of the way and they notice this little window that goes out to the side yard. And at the end, he has a famous quote. I'm going to go right into it real
yeah,
quick.
just throw it out.
Here we go. The only thing that matters is the ending. It's the most important part of the story, the ending. And this one, it's a very good one. This one's perfect. And then it pans out to that window that shows a garden of corn outside of his cabin. And the implication is Ted and Amy are 6 feet under feeding that corn.
In such a manner, like he essentially fulfills it's a prophecy.
This
like
prophecy of this book. Yeah.
Fulfilling prophecy of like him
There it
writing
is.
what he eventually does to his wife and her new lover.
Because of the implication.
Because of the
Can I also go on the same quote? So we're transitioning quotes real quick.
Well,
Hold on, just
Can I get to the ending? You mentioned the ending, so.
well, I
we
know, but
have
there's
two
All right, go
more
ahead.
scenes.
All right.
well, there's definitely before he finds the dead bodies of the Tom Greenleaf and Charles S. Dutton,
Yep.
who's the private detective he hires to
detective.
help
Lawyer,
to
yeah.
protect
Tom
him.
Greenleaf is just like a yokel.
He was the guy. He said he saw Mort and John Shooter. He honked at him and waved at him, but then you find out he only saw Mort. or
Right, it
whatever.
was only him. Yeah.
But then before that, though, Mort finds the car with them in Tom's car, with them hacked to death, like bleeding and blood everywhere. And then he pushes the car into the quarry in the cliff. And then again, his watch gets caught in the car or whatever.
Right, in the gear shift.
Nothing
or
comes back to that, unfortunately.
Well, they'd never found the body, so why would it come back?
Well,
Okay, we'll get to picking this
Yeah.
in a second, though. I just got two real quick list ones. There's an elevator shot, which, again, as you were saying, I think a lot of stuff was cut out. It's like an elevator shot with a bike messenger in the back, and he's just rocking out. He's like, what's up, man? So I was like, I love it. And then he just walks out. I'm like, all right, great scene. Like, just them riding down the elevator. And then as it's obviously getting to the conclusion, there's Mort starting to have the conversation with themselves. Multiple Johnny Depps are in there.
Yes.
I like that.
That was creepy as fuck.
yeah. I also like, too, that they show what actually happened. Like, he kind of remembers now that he was the one who murdered Charles S. Dunn.
Right.
And they show what actually...
A reenactment,
He got him with the hatchet or the axe or whatever.
He got,
The driver got the
Greenleaf
screwdriver,
for
and then he had the hatchet.
and then he burned the house down.
Yep.
Yep.
And as soon as he puts the hat on, all of a sudden he remembers everything.
Which kind of say Johnny Depp. The guy looks good.
Guy's
in
got
hats.
depth.
He looks good in hats. I don't
He
get what
did
it
He
is.
does look good in hats.
Did look good in that.
Whatever
yeah.
fucking
And that
it
hat
is.
was just like our I watched it recently, Tombstone, because of Val Kilmer, but he looks just like main character Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
He has the
Oh,
same
yeah,
hat.
yeah.
Same hat.
Also, did we say R.I.P. to Val?
R.I.P. Kilmer, man.
yeah,
honestly,
Val.
That sucks, man.
we'll be doing some tribute to him soon enough.
Absolutely.
I just want to mention, we're still like quickly
Yeah.
the scenes that again the ending, like you guys said, when we figure out that he is one and the same.
The corn on the
shooter
cob,
and-
shooting it away.
Well, actually, before that, when Amy comes to the house,
Okay.
and he's attacking her, and he's in character now as John Shooter with the
Shooter, yep.
accent, and he carved shooter
Shoots
everywhere, and then shoot
her.
So he figured out, oh, like he's trying to reenact the ending of his book in real life, and that's what he
Story
meant, his
becomes-
subconscious meant, or whatever, like because he got cheated on, and
Right.
Right.
kind of all ties.
Story
back.
becomes
Yeah.
reality.
And then of course Ted comes and he hits him in the face with a shovel, and
And then decapitates him on the next.
Oh, I forgot. That was one of my favorite. Because Timothy Hutton in this, the guy who plays, what's his name? Kev or Ted?
So John Shooter says this about him. Sorry,
Can
go
I
ahead. Yeah,
finish
go ahead.
what I was gonna- I just love when he's getting, like, he gets smacked right in the face. I wish they could have drawn out that scene a little bit more and, like, Johnny Depp actually fucking him up. Because that guy's such a prick in that movie that I'm like, I like to see you hurt. It's fantastic. Like,
Look at this sadist over
Could've
here.
just
Don't kill him yet.
hit him
Work
a
him
couple
over
times,
a few
hit him
times.
there.
So
Go
this is by John Shooter, which was like called foreshadowing, I suppose. You strike me as the kind of guy who's on the lookout for a head that he can knock off with a shovel. I think I did a good
I
job.
mean,
there.
it-
that's,
it's
that's
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
But
It also goes like pretty much right with the book, right? Or
Right.
rather, what happens later.
so and also towards the end, I know I mentioned this. I'm fluidly going to quotes at this point, and
That's fine.
I know you guys will hop in eventually, but this quote was eerie and it kind of like stuck with me like longer than it should have. I know I can do it, Todd Downey said, helping himself to another ear of corn from the steaming bowl. I'm sure that in time, every bit of her will be gone, and her death will be a mystery, even to me. Fucking creepy. That's how they fucking like they do a pull out shot from the cabin with that going on. That's
It's great. Yeah, it's a great ending. If we're gonna go to quotes here,
yeah, quotes.
Go
I got a
for
few.
it. Go for it.
Mr. Rain, like they're in the, I think his maid is there, and
Right.
she comes up as
Initial
he's
scene.
smoking the cigarette, and she's like, "Mr. Rainey," and he's like, like clearly trying to keep the smoke in. I fucking just like that little clip. What do you mean it thinks? Oh, dude, he's fucking giving it to John Shooter. He's like, what do you think it means, you ignorant hick? I'm in the middle of a divorce. DIVORCE, divorce.
Divorce.
Oh, yeah, he does do
Yeah,
the
divorce.
I like the one scene where John Shooter catches Mort smoking. He's like, "Thought you didn't smoke." He's like, "I took it up recently for my health."
I have that in there. Yeah, that's
And
a great
then
one.
when he's talking to Ted, the one scene after the insurance meeting.
Yep.
He's like, "You're a dick," and then he's like, "Do you feel better now?" "Yes, I do."
I like in that same scene. Oh heck, Ted, live a little, make it 2.
Yeah,
Rubbernecker.
Rubbernecker.
I forget what scene it is, but they're talking about an Omaha Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, that was the private detective. Was like, oh, did you bang one of your, you know?
Dude, he's joking about it. in that
But he
first
like
scene.
clowns him. It's like, dude, I'm going through a divorce. Like,
He's
go
like,
fuck
oh,
yourself.
shit.
Yeah.
Happened again? He thinks John Shooter's in the house, Mort, and then he fucking smacks his mirror on his window, and then the shower door.
He smashes the mirror in his bathroom and the
he's
shower
like,
door.
I killed a mirror and my shower door.
I thought this was a really almost oh shit part. It's a beautiful house. I like it. Hell, I love it. That's why I bought it. So that, and then coupled a few moments later, he's like, that is not my house. And, that progressive, this is not my beautiful wife.
Right, when he's...
ooh, shit got real around
They do kind of the weird, tint on the shit, right? When he's, in the house.
Yep.
Actively fucking lighting it on fire, right?
And then to kind of keep things light. Gee, Ted, I'm sorry you had to miss that. I know how much you like my things. That was funny as shit. That was a nice little jab.
I like John Shooter's you'll be standing with a noose on your neck and your feet in Crisco.
That's good.
That was good. And I also like the scene. I forget. I don't have it written down, but they were going to interfere with our business. We got to handle our,
Yeah,
that
John
whole
Shooter's that's
John Turturro. Holy shit, dude!
But
What an actor.
That's where you were talking about the turn kind of before. That's really where I thought when he was so unhinged that logic doesn't they say okay, Mississippi Hick, and I was like, to an extent, this guy clearly has some problems if he's no. Nobody's gonna interfere. It's just gonna be you and me, man.
Right.
Mono. You're
You're doing a great job. I fucking love this.
But back to the quotes real quick.
I'll tell you what.
They're talking about Amy and Mort are talking.
Yep.
She was like, "You were gone all the time." He's like, "I worked at home, Amy."
Or she's he says something maybe you shouldn't have fucked him then.
Yeah.
I forgot what she says before that.
I wish you would feel better or something like that.
Maybe you shouldn't have fucked him then or whatever.
So, like I said, this is a very intense movie. We did scenes, we did quotes. I guess, let's go for who stole the show.
John Turturro, for sure. John Turturro.
I guess so you're outside of Johnny Depp, obviously.
Yeah, Johnny Depp for sure, but John Turturro, I think every scene he's in is interesting, especially when you don't know the twist, which kind of
spoiler alert.
Sometimes I kind of some movies. I'm like I feel like that when I watch Fight Club too. I'm like, I kind of would wish that there wouldn't have been that twist. Or I wanted to see how the story was going to resolve itself if that guy actually existed or whatever, But I appreciate the twist either way. But yeah, for me, John Turturro. I like seeing Charles S. Dutton in the movie, although he didn't really get a lot to do.
He needed. Yeah.
I wish he had a couple more scenes or something.
Okay, right.
But he's a good actor. I just wish they kind of gave him a little more to chew on, if you will.
Yeah, definitely with him. And then Len Carew is the detective. If they got a little bit more, I know unfortunately
the sheriff.
Sheriff,
yeah.
But I know it unfortunately it's kind of a similar plot to Misery, right? You see the connections, the similarities, and stuff like that. Maybe this was the time that they really wanted to not have the sheriff play any type of role. I will say I don't know how close this is to the book.
I think they actually did justice by it for what I've been told.
I've never read it. So
I'm with Woj. There's one of my Nits again. We're going to get to it.
Okay, we'll get to it. But yeah, I just think that if they gave him more, but obviously you gotta go with John Turturro because he's the one that actually was it's him and Johnny Depp. It's not Johnny Depp and Maria Bello as the main.
There was two primaries in this, I'd say. Yeah.
And I would just say Maria Bello.
So fine.
Smoke show.
Woo.
Last couple
right,
things,
boys.
Two things with cast
hands.
Slap hands.
Cast and others though. I will just say David Kopp, who's the director of it.
I believe it's David Kep.
Kep. What? Whatever the fuck.
Sorry.
He has fucking done screenplay for some crazy shit. I saw Jurassic Park.
He did a lot of them, yeah.
You got any more real quick?
Off the top of my head, no, but I know it.
So writer Jurassic Park, Mission Impossible.
Wow, okay.
The original. What else we got? Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the shittier one. The Mummy, the newer one.
Okay, so he has some accolades.
I mean, not anything crazy. Kingdom of Heaven he also did.
Love Kingdom of Heaven.
War of the Worlds is a great flick.
So the guy's earned his stripes.
He's definitely done some shit. And then the other producer that I had was Ezra Sweedlow. I think his list was even crazier. Let me just pull him up real quick because he had.
However, David Kep, he wrote some great movies. Toy Soldiers, Jurassic Park, Carlito's Way, The Paper.
Carlito's Way.
Mission
That's good.
Impossible 1, like Woj said. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, Snake Eyes, Stir of Echoes, Panic Room, Spider-Man, Secret Window, War of the Worlds. You mentioned Indiana Jones.
That's incredible. That's a hell
Angels
of a fucking...
and Demons.
Uh-huh.
That's a
Jack
good-looking
Ryan,
resume.
Shadow Recruit. Yeah, so not so much lately, but earlier a lot more.
Dude, Ezra Swerdlow, co-producer on some crazy shit. Spaceballs.
Love Spaceballs.
Fucking Copland, I heard was all right.
Copland's good.
think
I
was
like it.
good.
Yeah.
Where the fuck would I?
Should watch Copland. It's good.
Head of State, underrated comedy.
With Chris Rock.
With
Chris Rock is fucking
Bernie
hilarious.
Mac.
Yeah.
Invincible.
I like that movie with Mark Wahlberg.
Zombieland.
Love Zombieland.
Yeah.
21 Jump Street.
Love 21 Jump Street.
Southpaw, The Equalizer.
Love
This
it.
guy's crushing it.
Smurfs. Fucking why not?
Why not?
Yeah,
Fuck it.
Haven't seen it. Don't know.
Get paid.
But yeah, I mean that's fucking awesome though that they had good stuff, good guys top to bottom in the cast and kind of others. I mean, again, Stephen King's adaptations just fucking knock it out of the park, dude.
I didn't do any needle drops because I don't think it really warranted
I just
any.
said solid score kind of throughout.
Yeah.
It's
Can
fine.
I just mention too for that guy at the sheriff? He's in
Len
the
Carew.
executive
Carew, yeah.
decision. He's like the Secretary of Defense.
Oh, okay.
That's all. I recognize his face, and I'm like, this guy, and I had to look it up. I'm like, executive decision. That's it right there.
And Miss Garvey was in a few things too.
The maid.
Yeah, the maid.
Okay, I didn't recognize her, but I believe you.
Yeah.
You know who I think that bitch was?
One thing that really got me sorry, I'm going back to quotes, but it was just, I think this was a big change of pace for, how the movie was progressing was, do you want to wake up from one of your stupid naps and find Amy nailed to your garbage bin? Or turn on the radio one morning and find out that she's second best in a match with a chainsaw? You keep out in the shed, do you?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, holy shit, John Shooter, like, even up till now, it was intense. I was just like, fuck, dude. Like, this guy means business at this point. Like, you don't make those threats without fucking, sounding.
Absolutely.
So, dude, great acting.
Yeah.
All right, moving on from acting, got a couple. last
Is there any
categories.
casting couch? I guess real quick, if you could think of. I'll get to Picky Nits and then we'll do the twist, retwist.
I think as well. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just was gonna say the female lead, like in this era, there's so many options to pull from. I'm not saying Maria Bello is bad. I just think
Easy.
like at the time there was so many options of like any of the Jessicas, any of the Jennifers.
I'm kind of glad that they
2004.
didn't go that direction though.
I mean, they could have gone Kate Beckinsale. Like,
Yeah.
it's just to me, it's not such like her acting in that like blows me away that I go, no, it has to be Maria Bello.
I kind of think also Timothy Hutton doesn't get a lot, and I could see someone else in it instead.
Man, he fucking.
he's a dick and he plays it
I mean,
great.
he's good at being an asshole, but it's like, I mean, he's like just a fucking.
I like him in other things, but to me, he
Shitty-
didn't stand out to me in this movie.
He just looks like an asshole, but like, this is what Hollywood's going with.
A definite recast, though. I think you got to recast the sheriff. I think Woj alluded to that earlier. More prominent actor in that role.
I mean, there's a lot of options.
I don't know off the top of my head.
know what I
What
wish-
about the guy from?
Yo, just
Go ahead.
out of it. Sorry, lightning bolt. Dennis Hopper, man.
Dennis Hopper would be
Dennis
good.
Hopper would
Hopper's
be
the
good.
sheriff, kind of like go fuck.
I was
yourself.
thinking of the guy from Broken Lizard, Super Troopers, the cat or
Willie Nelson.
the old dude, not Willie Nelson.
I think at this
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox would be.
I think
kinda
at this
cool.
point you could have brought James Caan play that. That's
James
2005. He's older.
Little connection.
Yeah, Stephen King connection. He's kind of playing a role from.
I don't like that though. The reprisal in a different light.
Well, I mean,
Sorry.
he
just
could-
keeping him in the cat, like
Yeah.
he's in the
I
zeitgeist.
get that. I'm
so-
just saying. I personally don't like it. That's all.
Oh,
But yeah, I think the sheriff definitely a more prominent guy would have been better suited, and then giving him more to do also in this movie, which we're going to get
Okay.
into later.
Because
Sure.
they make a really passive, like he doesn't really give a shit initially type of scenario. But let's go into Picky Nits. I think there's.
last thing: spin-off, sequels, prequels.
I thought
just
I want to do that after Picky Nits.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's
We
do
can
Picky Nits and then we'll do the
Sure.
spin-off prequels.
That works.
I'm gonna just mind if I just rattle.
Go ahead,
a little
rattle.
bit?
Yeah, rattle them off.
I don't get the whole thing of him caring about if his housekeeper sees him smoking or people in general. Like, who cares? It's your house. You smoke. What does it matter? I don't know.
I think honestly,
why are you hiding it?
I think it's a internal thing of like he clearly has problems like with the booze, probably smoking cigarettes and stuff like that before. I think it's maybe an internal thing, like
so he's like in denial.
you should, like don't.
She never existed. Do you realize that she was
the maid?
The maid never existed. That was.
I don't know if you can prove that.
No, it's in the like movie notes. It was a figment of his imagination.
Really?
Yeah.
But how? Name one way in which the movie alludes to that.
It doesn't. I'm just saying, based on the script and movie notes, that was the last glimpse of him saying, "Hey, keep a tidy house, feed yourself, do the right thing." You never see her again.
I understand that, but that also, like, with her not being seen again and his house pretty much intact, like...
Is it, though, by the end of the movie?
When you're seeing that part of the movie, though, this is before shit really goes south. This is
I know,
before
but
he sees the
that was his
detective.
last sliver of sanity. That's what that was portraying.
That's just going to...
you're speculating on that.
I'm not, dude. I'm truly not.
I was say that's just going to bring me to my next picking.
Go ahead.
I feel like there's a lot of missing scenes in this movie.
I could agree to that.
Plot points and things that they're trying to emphasize, but then aren't really emphasized. Like the ending, like okay, like the thing with the twist, I get that's fine, but more of the ending after that, where all of a sudden he's weird and he's got the braces, and people in the town are like, afraid of him, and the sheriff's warning him to stay away or whatever. And I was like, okay, like well, I get that, but he wasn't suspicious of him before. He didn't really. They have one scene of him where he meets him in the beginning. Another scene later where he's going to talk to him at the car, and Johnny Depp's all like,
speeds off,
weird because he threw the car into the quarry or whatever. So you think, oh, it's going to like pay off at some point with the sheriff, but they don't really set that up well enough and then at the end, all of a sudden he's like, stay out of the town, get your stuff elsewhere. We know it was you, but we can't prove it. Also, you're not going to check his garden at his house for the dead bodies? So that was one of my
picking nits. I was like,
that's the first place you're going to look.
Two dead people that have in proximity of this individual. They would scour his property.
For DNA, for everything.
Anything. Yeah. But hold on, DNA back then, let's say this was built around the early 90s or late 90s. DNA really wasn't a huge precursor yet.
Okay, we don't know the timing. I don't think it specifically mentions
it's present day 2004.
I just don't think it mentions exactly when that happened. I would say that again.
I think it was a weak police presence.
Them looking at that story of it, like I think that's too much on the nose. I'm with you on that. It's like a forlorn lover that found his wife cheating, and then like I don't know how much that part's in the book, but like killing them, and like this chick went missing, her house burned down. Like there are too many order of events
that he's not an active suspect.
Let's go over it. If you suspect him of the murders,
but hold on, let's start.
And the missing people,
terrible divorce.
Divorce,
right?
Bad. He's a loner up in the woods.
Weird
shit's happening where his dog is stabbed. He claims to be threatened by this guy that nobody else has seen. He gets Charles S. Dutton involved. All of a sudden, he's missing. If anybody reports him missing,
right? Which they would have because he had an event on Friday.
And Tom Greenleaf's now missing, also, who is the guy that Charles
just missing a lot of missing people.
Now, and again, he pushed the car into the quarry, and his watch got stuck with the gear shift. You think that's going to come back? Like, the sheriff's going to drain the quarry, and he's going to find the watch, and he's going to tie it together. It never happens. Nothing happens with it. Also, why does he have braces all of a sudden? He's like this
that actually
weird
makes sense,
personality.
When he was during his like alter psychosis, he would constantly grind his jaw. So braces help reestablish setting the jaw. So I understand that. The use of braces.
I mean, it's as Ryan's saying though, it's just not explained. Which you need a couple more scenes. Like I think if you end the movie at like an hour 45, this could be a absolutely fantastic movie. But you ended it at an hour 30.
Right. I think there was definitely some gaps in this. And the one thing that I have a picking it with is you have him writing shooter over all the walls, right? As part of that scene, that never occurred because when you see the police officer come up his stairs at the very end. There's never any remnants of shooter being carved into, and there's no way you could sand that off. It was dug in.
But this is maybe a actually like positive, and you could view it as a negative of the movie. Is like they're trying to establish a reality where like what he is seeing, what you see, is not actually what's happening.
Right.
Or they're just omitting parts of like what he is doing when he's quote unquote asleep. I like the fact that like there are certain things that you can't go like for certain this is blah 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 blah. It leaves some mystery in there, but overall again like there are a couple of things kind of like again too on the nose. I just want to throw out like the delusional like part of his book, like what happened. Like they didn't really say what happened with the first story. They said it was like somewhat like this but different, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, I think the setup and structure was almost
like
exactly
he
the same,
paid
but
money
different.
to them. We know that.
We know, at some point in
to
his
the other
career,
person,
he
yeah.
plagiarized and paid off the.
But are you sure it's plagiarism?
Yeah, because he mentioned to his wife, he's like, "Yeah, we paid a lot of money."
Right, he's like, "You didn't tell Ted, right, or anybody?" And she says,
because this is
"No."
very similar to a previous scenario. That's why Dutton mentions it. He's like, "Are we dealing with the same type of situation?"
But they say it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. I just think that the delusional part of that and like the skepticism of him, like again, like the Charles S. Dutton, the detective or whatever,
lawyer, detective.
No, he's not.
He's a PI.
PI. He's like real calm about like this guy's clearly fucking outside of his mind. Like, are you just looking at him like a mark, just being like, oh, I'm just gonna get more money?
It could be the thing too. We don't know
Again,
of the unreliable narrator, where we're seeing it through Johnny Depp's perspective, and maybe, that one time we do get to see what actually happened. Maybe the actual meeting between them was a little more.
Right.
Different.
They're just showing you what they want them to show.
It's kind of like
reality is perception.
Like when you rewatch like Fight Club, and it's like, oh, that's what really you saw. That's
right,
what really happened.
But then again, there's other scenes that you don't know.
Yeah,
is that the full
him
truth?
napping and like and he wakes up at like crazy hours.
It's hard to say
unless you pull like a Memento, right?
Yeah, and you show what actually.
Right.
I was gonna say too, like. In the beginning, I guess. I mean, now it maybe it makes a little sense because he's crazy, obviously. But how does he not remember his own story? Like he reads John Shooter's story, and then he has to go read the copy of his story. Like you don't remember the story you wrote. You wrote this.
Drugs could definitely and alcohol could definitely be a factor there because they do say, hey, he had a big problem.
I have an impression that this possibly might have been his first draft of the thing, and his publisher saying you need to change the ending. So maybe that's him reverting back to, hey, I want to keep my original ending.
No, I'm just saying,
given his scenario that he found himself in.
In the beginning of the movie, when he initially drops the script off, John Shooter, and then he throws in the garbage, and then the maid pulls it out, and then he starts reading it, like the first paragraph, and then he goes to compare
word for word.
Compare the two. You really didn't remember that.
I'm gonna offer a slice of this.
Go ahead.
Truth bomb. No, I'm just kidding.
I like it.
I would say that it would make sense in a lot, like again, a movie setting type of thing, for him to be writing this shit, drugs, alcohol, etc. The midlife crisis that he's having, getting divorced, all this shit, and on top of it, you have money, so you are well off. You could go and it says 6 months he's just hanging out. You're just living in your psychosis. So when he I lost where I was going real quick. Shit. But just when he's in the fucking throes of that shit, like I feel like you could explain. I'm not gonna remember it. I'm trying to.
Shit, dude, you just keep trying to.
I was gonna say, I think there's.
I can remember
I think you could add like 10 to 20 minutes to this movie.
Agreed.
A couple more scenes to clarify things. More Charles Dutton scenes. Throw the sheriff in more. Get him more involved. Investigating more as well. Kind of like tightening the the tension.
I was gonna say stalking is a crime. That is a crime. He was like,
he downplayed the shit out of it.
There's no crimes against killing animals. Yes, there fucking is.
Yeah, it's my problem. You literally killed a dog out of.
This isn't like 1962 where they were like, oh, it's an animal, it's cool.
Yeah, I just think there were a lot of missed opportunities and missing parts that could have made the movie more.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
More clear and understandable and just better.
I remember what I was saying. There you go. But so he's not remembering the original writing of the story, but like his subconscious then is thinking like, well, this is perfect. My wife is cheating on me. I can play this
and it's out completely.
And it's just like it's so perfect. He wrote the perfect plan 15 years ago or whatever, or 10 years ago, and now he's like, I have to act it out. Like I think all of the shit to like bring the story to more attention. Like I think that's exactly what his like subconscious is doing. Is like, this is what you need to do. You need to kill her. You need to kill him. You need to burn the house down and bury them in the garden.
And one last thing before we go into the twists or the prequel sequel was at the very end of the movie, he's at the grocery store and he picks up what would be like basically supplies if you make ears of corn,
butter and salt.
So guess what Salty picked up? Morton Salt.
Oh, really?
Mort. And guess what their logo is or their slogan is?
I don't know.
When it rains, it pours.
Oh,
Rainy.
shit. I like
So
that.
Mort Rainy, I mean, kind of baked into
I
that
actually
little
like
bit gem. Yeah, I figured like a little movie gem for this. I was like, and they're terrified because they've seen this guy. I think they've seen Dr. Jekyll, like the normal people, Mr. Hyde of this one individual. That's why he's fucking scaring everyone in the town.
I mean, again, it's not explained very well, but
And they just throw it in at the end all of a sudden because she just sorry, Woj, but he saw her earlier.
Yeah, the UPS
at the UPS
chick.
lady, and she was
Yeah.
flirting with him. Or at least that's what we saw as the
Right.
audience.
yeah.
So, I mean, maybe you could have had maybe like the cashier or somebody off, like two people talking and whispering, like, that's the guy who did whatever. So maybe
Simple scene.
we're like, oh, then we're like, I get now more, I understand it better, to me at least.
I don't love the last scene. Like they just pan back to Johnny Depp.
You don't like the last
And
scene? Come on.
No, I'm saying it should have ended on the garden for me. Of like, here's the last bit. Like, cut out the other thing then of him in the town or whatever. I would have just liked. Okay, I did it. I fucking.
Also,
lived
why
it.
the braces?
Yeah,
I explained that
got a
though.
real
That
problem.
jaw, the grind.
It could be. It could be. It's plausible.
right.
I got a bit of a problem though. If you make him a successful author, like this dude would just fucking like. He would just leave and go like, I'm gonna stay in a fucking penthouse if you have the money to go like, hey, I could just leave.
Dude, his
this
assets are
situation.
probably somewhat frozen because when you go through a divorce, it's not like you could just burn off everything.
I mean,
you
they're
have.
gonna allow you money to live, and if you have $2 million, let's say it's generous, but like $2 million, you get, I can go stay at the fucking Ritz for a couple grand. I'll be good. I'm just saying that that's a scenario. I get it plays into
but
the plot,
I think that
but
he's an author that was successful like 7 years ago, maybe, or like 5 to 7 years ago. I don't think that he's done anything recently to like really pad his wallet.
I just think he likes the house. That's where he
Could be,
writes his
could be.
books. That's where he's with his wife.
Yeah, that's
before.
where it gets scary. He's like, she's
That's where
not my
his
wife. This isn't my house.
It's just he's comfortable. And also, I don't think he likes people very much. Like he's getting away from everybody.
He's very
it seems
antisocial,
like.
yeah.
That's what I would say.
last thing is just like he buries Chico in a real shallow grave. That bitch is like half above.
Right, that's
the,
barely even a foot
yeah,
down.
as I was saying, they're gonna find the body.
I mean, there's just a trail of evidence where like that was going to happen. Like everything that he leaves too many breadcrumbs. He leaves full, loaves of bread at certain locations, and it's like, here you go. Like, and the sheriff's just at the end, like, nah. No, he goes, I'm watching you. As soon as we get the evidence,
Why don't you get your groceries somewhere else?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So prequels, sequels, spin-offs. Whoa.
I want more elaboration on the first story because it's like he brushes it off real. So again, it could be the plagiarism thing. It could be whatever, but it's just kind of like, what happened there? Was it completely different? Because like I very much don't believe that he had a psychotic break before, and now everybody's just like hunky dory, and he's, married after that for a number of years. It doesn't track, but maybe something on that first.
Okay.
What do you got, Ryan?
I honestly really didn't have anything. It's kind of hard because it's like it's a really short movie and not a lot.
It's based on a short
right.
story,
It's a novella
too.
or whatever. Yeah. So I guess my thing would just be like I'd like to just see what would happen without the twist if the story was actually about a guy who came and was.
I like that. I like
I
that.
like it. Stay in the straight and narrow.
Keep the John Turturro thing, make him real,
Make him real.
and just resolve that situation. How would that play out? I'd be interested in seeing that movie.
Hell yeah, I agree.
Dude, fair and fucking good.
That's like the most basic answer is the fucking best one.
Yeah, there wasn't because you can't really give him a prequel because he's not a real person, and the Johnny Depp prequel. I don't really think we would need.
Well, To be fair, you
To
could.
be fair.
You could definitely elaborate on Johnny Depp's illness of just like, I am like John Turturro's like slowly popping up more throughout years. Like you could show his adolescence and then
none of the other characters really get enough to work with. So to spin anybody off would be kind of difficult for the other. So it's kind of.
I like the idea of John, like your subconscious as like growing up through the years where they show like a young child and then middle aged, then old or whatever, and like John Turturro's in the same thing. So like as a kid, he's wearing like a hat and a fucking whatever, and then he's an old man. He's wearing like
I was just
cowboy
saying,
boots.
I kind of don't get the whole for like quick picking it with the secret window thing. Just because of dressers in front of it, it's a secret window.
The window is into the monstrosity that
I know, but they're like in like it's like almost like an attic.
I don't think it's like the location. I think the window.
The window is
being used
basically he gets to watch his prize constantly grow and thrive.
But it's also like it's a
I just
looking into Johnny Depp's madness.
I feel like the only reason they're calling it that window, the secret window, the physical window I'm talking about, the little window that looks over the garden.
We get it, but I think it's more
like
of
it's covered by a dresser.
I think it's supposed to be more than just like the location.
There's some alliteration
of the window,
there, like
just more. Again, to me, with Stephen King's shit, it's usually representing something else.
To me, like a secret window would be like in the wall, and then
I understand.
You remove
the
like
concept.
a painting or something. Oh, there's a window. And that's sorry, real quick. I just want to say that
the only prequel that I could think of, and I thought of two different ones: a spinoff and a prequel. The prequel was, I guess maybe the cat and mouse game, because he originally had to pay out someone because of his fraudulent plagiarism, in the past. So I think maybe doing a movie around that, and I think the ups and downs of that would be cool. But a spinoff, before they sought divorce, they went to mediation. Wedding Crashers. They went to those folks, and it ended up not working out, and they had to go to litigation.
That's nice.
It was right around the same time, so
would work.
And it was in D.C., so it's not too far away from New York. I mean, it's
not crazy.
Yeah.
I don't have anything with a switcheroo.
No.
I couldn't come up with. It was tough.
I just think, like, again, like Stephen King's adaptations, like, all live kind of seems like with all in the same world. Like, you can always cross over something, but like, I would definitely say like, well, you gotta cross. You gotta cross over something like you'd have to do like it with this, right? Because if you did Misery with this, you're like author,
like
same
this.
thing.
See, hold on, that's kind of where I was going.
Shining or
he's
something.
From New York, the author from Misery, in terms of like his publisher.
Yeah.
So I could see maybe at one point maybe they were collaborating or they're part of the same like, dropping off their own manuscripts here and there, and they like call John or James Caan passing him in the hallway.
Again, I think cameos
that'd be kind of cool.
Cameos can definitely work within the world, but like in reality of merging two worlds together, I would definitely pay to see that, but it's so difficult.
I think it'd be a challenge for this one. It'd
be
a big lift.
As you guys,
I was going to say,
I assume he's being Stephen King fans. A lot of his stories, their authors are the main character, like The Shining.
You're right, dude.
Stand
I didn't
By
even
Me.
think about that till now.
This, that. So like you could, in theory, have a scene where all of them are in like the lobby. And they have the same agent or publisher or whatever.
No, but the idea of this being both in New York, though, because...
So I'm saying, like, what if he walks by, you said you see James Caan's character, and he sees Jack Torrance from The Shining? What if he sees, what's his face from Stand By Me, Richard Dreyfuss?
I thought the Shining was more of him being someone to just take care of the property.
Well, he's also an author. He's going away to write. I mean, he's typing on a typewriter, he's typing, and then he types just the same thing over and over again,
Okay. Interesting concepts. I love it. So let's put a cap on this. Rate or buy it, rent it, pass, and your rating.
Yeah, I think this is a definite own. You should own it. What did I do?
Was it $4.99? I did the same thing.
I think I rented it. Yeah, but overall, I think it's a solid thriller, like suspense type movie where the twist is palpable enough for you to be like, again, like, now are you gonna go like, this is my favorite movie of all time? No, but I think you're gonna appreciate it time after time. Cyndi Lauper. So
nice.
Again, own it. I would go with a 8.8 on it.
Okay, deal.
I am definitely a Johnny Depp fan, though. I think that definitely helps because I think in this role, like, he's fucking good enough. Like, he's not getting you an Oscar, but it's like depravity and stuff like that is Johnny
and the darkness, the grittiness of it. I kind of enjoyed it.
Don't really love his cologne commercials. He looks kind of like a douche in those, but all love, Johnny. What do you got, Ryan?
I like Johnny Depp. Yeah. For me, it's a stream.
Okay.
I think also I would just say, I think like This movie, if you haven't seen it, to me is better the first time than like we talked about with Shutter Island. Then if you rewatch it,
Agreed.
Big twist.
You
big
can kind
twist.
of try and appreciate different things, but movies like this, it's hard to put Pandora back in the box. You know what's happening. So if this is like a first review for me, like if I hadn't seen it, it'd probably be like maybe like 10 points higher.
Okay.
But since I did and I kind of remembered it, it's gonna be a little.
All right.
I gave it a 7.2. I liked it. Didn't love it.
You thought there was a lot of missing scenes, and I could agree to that. I think that like adding another 10 to 12 minutes of this movie would really add.
I think it had potential,
depth.
and I like the actors in it. I just wanted a little more out of it, I guess. And also, I kind of like the original non-twist concept, but I do appreciate a good twist at the same time.
I mean, that's kind of the MO of Stephen King there,
For sure.
All right, so
Bobby didn't do.
I guess my final one. I would also.
I was gonna say, all right, so Bobby,
Oh, my
here
bad.
you go.
I thought you were gonna tease you.
No, not at all.
Sorry,
all right.
Charlie.
I think that I love this movie. I own it, but I think for the general populace, it would be a stream. I really think that if you have an opportunity to see this, go see it because it really is a fun, cool movie. If you're chilling out on a night, you just want to drink a few beers, hang out with your lady, perfect movie. And I gave it an 8.5. Like I said, I think that there was some room for improvement, obviously, but it just some of the pigginess that you guys brought up also, it kind of eked me. I was like, dude, you have like 3 or 4 people missing around the same individual. And I'm not saying that like the local PD can't, do a thorough research, but with 4 people missing, no, it's going to get a little bit more attention.
I'm not gonna lie,
than
if
that.
it's a smaller town, then even more so. Like, where the people are like.
So that's why it kind of dials down. But it's like we got to enjoy it as this being a short story, and you're trying to pack in a lot based on a little bit of content.
I think it has a good premise and a good setup for the first 2/3 of the movie, and then at the end. You have the twist, and then they kind of really shove the ending in at the end, kind of try.
Right, I think they fast
cram
track
it
the
in
shit
there
out of
and
it.
kind of gloss over things without any resolution.
I'm with Wojo. I love getting Ted right in the face with a fucking shovel.
Yeah, that was great.
Bobby, what was your rating?
He said 8.5. He said
8.5, 7.6,
7.2.
7.2,
8.
8.7.
Yeah, we're right around ballpark. Like I said, I thought it was a great Stephen King movie, but that's why I selected it because we've all seen a lot of his more popular ones. But I was like, this is something that I'm sure was popular, but let's run it through.
I was excited to revisit it. It had been since probably 20 years.
I think Ryan is a key point of just this is a movie that you revisit, but you gotta wait long enough to not remember the ending.
You give it some time.
Or honestly, I mean, this is what I'm gonna kind of do is I'm definitely gonna read the books next before I watch these movies because I'm curious now to see how close.
Correlation
this is a shorter story, so it's gonna be look at this fucking idiot. We got to talk about this now. LeBron James shows
Coming
up in
overalls.
Fucking overalls. What's up, LaHick? Fucking dick.
He's going to preschool, okay?
Fucking asshole.
Who's next on the docket, though, for the movies?
It's me, right?
Woj.
What was the album?
Oh,
Sublime.
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 96.
Hard to forget there, Bob.
Yeah, we're gonna double up.
Or is this movie? Are we free balling it? Free choice?
Yes, free
choice. We're going back to the free format.
We'll go open gym with the.
Are we gonna tease the coming maybe?
Yeah, the coming theme will be Val Kilmer.
Is that going to be before 80s?
We're going to do Val Kilmer, then 80s later. But Val Kilmer.
Apropos.
That makes sense. That's what I was going to say.
Out of respect, man. We love Val.
So, again, we'll all get one option, one round of just whatever you want. Then we're going to do some Val Kilmer tributes there. Some 80s we'll work in. International.
I'm excited
We're going to have
about.
some themes coming up. We're going to have some shit coming up for the 100th, which is going to take place during football season. It's going to get wild. We're going to order some wings.
Am I in your league yet, or am I officially out?
mean, we'll see. Only time will tell. So
too early to say.
My pick will be you're first on the waiting list though. I'm gonna go with Clerks.
Clerks, fucking
Kevin
A.
Smith.
Okay.
I dig.
It is on some services, so
Excelente.
double
Kevin
twist of
Smith, man, I really like him as a director.
that. I mean, he's done so many movies. I'm definitely gonna be doing a couple of them at least. But that's it. This is me. This is him. That's him.
We enjoy your.
I'm Tom Tucker.
Yeah, I'm Tom Tucker. We enjoy your tenure.
Journeymen Lounge.
Out.
Adios. Look at Ryan with the head. And that's the way it was. And that's the way. I like it.
Put that in. Keep it.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
You guys are funny.
Hi, everybody. Hey, to Carrie.
If the moon was made out of...
If the moon is made of cheese, would you eat it? I know I would. Polish it off with a tall, cool Budweiser. All right.
What's made of spare ribs? Did you eat then?
Cubs are up. 3-0, bottom of the fourth. And he hits one. Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Get it.